Welcome back to another episode of Pig Moose Podcast. We are here to talk about new movies, new food, what's new in the pop culture. I'm your host, Matthew. I am joined tonight with Tim.
What's up?
Josh.
Hello.
And Trev.
Ew.
We are talking about Beetlejuice and Beetlejuice tonight. But before that, let's talk about some news, some trailers, and some new foods. So in the news this week, we have Glenn Powell is set to star as Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Running Man. You guys see that? It's a Stephen King.
He's set to star as Arnold Schwarzenegger's character.
Oh, not as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
In the Running Man.
Oh, so he is playing just.
It's a remake of an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of good actually. I think the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, The Running Man, is pretty good. I really enjoy it.
It's good.
And I think Glenn Powell is right there on board with it. You know, I think he's pretty good.
I'm excited. Glenn's been on this. Glenn's been on it recently.
I think so. I think you know I've had this conversation with a couple of people that I think that he is like a Timothée Chalamet. It took me a little bit of time to get on board with Glenn Powell, but I'm on board with Glenn Powell. I'm all in on him, and I think he's gonna do it justice. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see how they kind of spin the world because you know it is such a dystopian future. And I don't know, Matt, if you've ever seen the original.
No.
Have you ever read the? I'm guessing you haven't read the book then either. But it's kind of set in a dystopian future. It's kind of like a Hunger Games almost, where there's like a game show, and you can be on the game show, and you're guaranteed to die, but your family is gonna get a ton of money.
Okay.
And you're gonna.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Your family's gonna get a ton of money, and you know it definitely takes its liberties from the book itself, where it takes the concept and definitely changes it. But you know, I think the '80s is kind of known for this idea of like a brutalist, you know, future. And I think I'm interested to see like where it goes if they're gonna continue down that kind of classic brutalist future, or if they're gonna try and maybe change it a little bit.
And it's kind of like the direction we've been going for a while is all the brutalists. Like when you look back at the dystopian movies, like decades and decades ago, like 50s, 60s, it was a lot more lighthearted, and then all of a sudden we started getting like the way more brutal Mad Max type stuff going on, and it's just really stuck.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't know. I think I'm interested to see how Glenn Powell plays it because you know he's not the typical person that I would put in that role, you know. Especially when Arnold's son is around.
Yeah, right?
You know?
Is it based in the like far future or like future like 2000s now?
Well, in the 80s, I think it was based in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
But
so is it technically a dystopian past at this point?
Right, at this point.
Yeah, right.
I think it's the next 50 year. It's within 50-year margin.
Yeah. In the year 2017.
2017.
Yeah, so we're actually past
Dystopian
that.
past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're gonna have to definitely bump that up, you know, or they'll keep it in present day because
it's pretty dystopian already.
We're kind of there.
We're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
2017.
I don't know. We're there.
But, yeah.
Pretty close.
If it was 2020,
years.
I don't know. There's some crazy stuff that happens in that movie.
There are some. It's kind of like a mixture of like Trevor was saying of like Mad Max, but also has elements of like Death Race, where all of the cars are kind of like you know put together and all like you know built
just
up.
Mad Max.
Mad Max, yeah, Mad Max. Yeah. So.
Okay. It kind of reminds me of what's the movie with Stallone and Wesley Snipes? That's like
Demolition Man.
Yeah, that's
classic.
also set in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, is it?
What is it?
No, Demolition Man.
I think you're thinking of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
No. Demolition Man, is that not the one where Sylvester Stallone travels? He's a cop from the past and travels to the future.
Yeah. So Wesley Snipes, the
and
guy.
Wesley Snipes is the bad guy put in and Sylvester Stallone's put in cryogenic therapy or cryogenic sleep to stop Wesley Snipes in the future.
It's like a reverse Terminator.
Kind of like a reverse Terminator. Yeah.
Actually, a pretty good movie.
It is.
It was, yeah.
Sylvester Stallone had a slew of good movies at that point.
Yeah, still bad movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, always do.
But Arnold hasn't, and that's my thing. Is I think you know, in a world of fan service and pleasing, you know, people, I think putting Arnold's son in this role would have just been like a cool callback. And he's in acting. It's like, and he's a decent actor. It's not like he's a bad actor.
Yeah,
you know.
Like, I haven't seen, or at least anything I can recall with him in it. So, like, he actually looks good? Like, he's a good actor?
He's a decent actor. He was in Gen V, and he did a great job in Gen V.
All right.
I mean, I feel like Glenn Powell will do a good job, but I think that would have been like a cool little nod without actually being full fan service. But we'll see what Glenn Powell can do.
Yeah, that's all right.
Excellent. Okay. Our next bit of news. Denzel Washington talks about retirement soon. There are very few films left for me to make, and I'm interested in. So obviously, Denzel Washington, huge. Everyone loves Denzel. He's never been not big. Macbeth, have you seen that?
Yeah.
That was
Joel Cohen.
so good. What do you guys think about his retirement? I mean, he's been acting for how long?
Yeah, he's been doing it a long time. He's made a lot of good movies. Like, he's someone that you go to see movies in, and you can pretty well be guaranteed that you're going to enjoy it.
That you're going to have a good time.
I love the way he went about it, that he's not saying, oh, I'm retiring, and we're going to have, like, the Hell Freezes Over tour thing where he just keeps coming back. But he's actually said, like, no, I will keep doing movies. There's just not a lot coming across that I'm finding is worth my time right now.
Yeah.
But that also means that when he does show up, we know that he thinks it's a really awesome movie, which means it's going to be amazing.
Right, which makes me happy or excited about the new Gladiator movie.
Right.
Because if he's not finding a lot of movies that he's like excited to would find interest in working with anymore, and he picked this movie to be in, then he must find something really good about it. And I trust Denzel. He's good.
He really seems like one of those guys who, he loves acting, and I always say, actors want to act. That's what they want to do, and there's not a doubt in my mind that this dude's gonna stop acting, because not only is he a accomplished film, actor, but he's very accomplished stage actor as well.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a lot more stage.
That's what I'm saying.
productions
Yeah,
going forward.
I'm sure he'll probably stay.
There's no way he's gonna stop in general, because he just seems like he really loves it, and he loves the craft of it, And I think like, to Trev's point, he's one of those guys who's kind of like everybody loves him as well,
Yeah.
And almost everything he's in is good, There's really very, very few movies that he's in that are not good.
I'm trying to think. Even.
And on top of that, I think he's kind of covered all of his bases on different roles. I think he's done comedies, he's done action, he's done drama,
He's proved he can do it all.
Yeah, he's done classics. He can do it all, So I think when it comes to him saying he's retiring, I think he's kind of in that same boat as Jim Carrey saying he's retiring, where Jim Carrey said, I'm going to retire, but here he is in
two roles in Sonic.
In Sonic 3, So
He's back.
And that's because I think, again, they both just are looking for things. They don't need it anymore. It's not like they're searching for roles. They've got the money, they've got the fame, and now all they want to do is just literally act on things that they really want to act on.
Yeah, stuff that they believe
Super
in.
picky. Yeah.
But what's your thoughts then that if these top big names, who I'm sure have access to the best scripts, are saying they're not seeing a ton come across their desk that they're enjoying, what do you think that says about the state of what's going on right now, or what people are trying to put out?
That's a good point, Trev.
It's all like obviously sequels and remakes, and I don't think obviously Denzel is really interested in that. Because the last thing that I can honestly think of him being in is the Equalizer.
Equalizer 3.
He was in the Equalizer 3, yeah.
And
He is the Equalizer.
He is.
I know.
He is I never saw the third one.
So I was, he was in it. Yeah.
But other than that,
You're actually not the original Equalizer.
it's not.
No, he's not. That's a remake in itself.
It's awesome.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
So
Actually, Queen Latifah was the Equalizer last after him, so...
What?
No,
saying.
that show ended before Equalizer 3 came out. They made an Equalizer TV show, and Queen Latifah was the Equalizer. But
it's just a word you can use, I guess.
But yeah, I think he's not quitting acting, and I think if anything, like to Trev's point, I think if we do see him, it's gonna be fantastic. So go see it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a stage production. That would be awesome. I would love to go see him up there on the stage in person acting.
That'd be great.
Well, that's kind of how you brought up Macbeth. That's kind of how Macbeth was approached. That's how Joe Cohen approached it. It almost feels. Did you ever see it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it feels like a stage production. It feels like it's shot in that black and white with very minimal set pieces, and it feels like a stage production
like
of Macbeth.
Yeah.
And I think he was a great Macbeth. Something wicked this way comes. Macbeth. So, yeah, but
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Did-
Time will tell.
did you guys hear about Chris Hemsworth?
Chris Hemsworth? No.
I've heard a couple different things. Which one are you referring to?
I
Let's
talk
hear
about Chris Hemsworth a lot, but
Really?
but there was a viral video going around recently. Let me start here. Have you guys seen the show Limitless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen the movie.
Oh, that's not anything like this.
No, they're totally different.
Totally different. This is a Darren Aronofsky show from Disney Plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's Darren Aronofsky.
Oh, I
creates
think I
it.
have seen it.
Yeah, and Chris Hemsworth is kind of like the star of
Yeah.
it, but it's a documentary series.
And he
and
goes
each-
around, yeah.
Yeah, each episode, it's really trying to. Chris Hemsworth obviously is a very fit guy, and that's kind of what he's known for, you know.
Yeah.
And the show is right, a god, literally.
Yeah.
But the show is actually about the longevity of the human body and learning about the ins and outs of the human body and how it operates to best, you know. So there's like each episode's a
They do,
little bit different.
Really deep dives on it too, where
Yeah.
they talk about like the different fasting and like how it breaks down certain cells that might have been hanging around too long.
Right.
Whereas like if you just keep stuffing yourself, you're gonna fill up with all these what they call like zombie cells.
Yeah, exactly. And there's episodes that are about mentality and stuff. So they're filming a second season right now. And I guess one of the episodes is about learning a new skill and kind of what it takes to learn a new skill, how long it takes, and so on and so forth. So there was a viral video going around, and it was actually an Ed Sheeran concert. And at the end of the concert, Ed Sheeran's like, also, I just want to thank you guys for being here tonight. And Chris Hemsworth's been playing the drums the entire show. and it cuts over to Chris Hemsworth, and he's just playing the drums.
Really?
And he's only been playing it for 2 months.
The best part,
Yeah.
Insane.
the best part about it is that like he was like throwing in solos too throughout the
like
concert.
fills.
We were like, take a
I love how
fill.
they like kept it secret for the whole show.
Yeah.
Yeah, playing instead
So
of just
funny.
being like, "Oh, Chris Evans is gonna come out and play the last song." It's like,
Yeah.
no, he's been nailing it the whole
Dude,
time.
He's on tour the whole day.
That would have been a fever dream to be at that concert and be like,
Seriously.
What?
is that Chris Hemsworth? You're like in the nosebleeds. You're like, I think Chris Hemsworth played the drums, and then you're not, and then you're
Question
validated
that.
at the end.
For the
Jacked
rest of my life,
Australian.
I would not know if that was real. Or
Yeah,
not.
if they didn't say anything, I would have.
Yeah.
And I saw that in the nosebleeds. That would have been a fever dream, you know.
That's
So that being said, I'm assuming that show is going to be in the show Limitless, this second season that's coming out.
It is. Oh well, he talks about that in his Instagram.
Yeah.
I think too as well. That
Okay.
it's going to be one of the episodes. Is him playing drums. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm stoked. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see that.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to watch it.
Not only that, it's just a great show. I mean, even if you're not interested even in learning about longevity, it's really just an entertaining show.
Sure.
You know.
At the end
Well,
of
he's
the
an
day.
entertaining guy.
Yeah.
And not only is he insanely good looking, and he can learn to play drums like concert level in 2 months.
He's
also
funny,
a
too.
funny dude.
I
He's
know.
a great
60 days, yeah.
character.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
He
like
always
it's
is.
like, and now he can play drums. It's like, dude, you're packing too much
What
on,
can
God.
you do, man?
Yeah, you're packing too much
At
on.
this point, he's striving for literal god level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that SNL skit? If a jacked Australian with a perfect face can make it, anyone can. That's literally Chris Hemsworth. You know, it's disgusting. Disgusting in the best way.
Oh, I'm all for it. I want more. Give it to me.
You know what else is disgusting in the best way?
What?
The Thing from Fantastic
The Thing
Four.
is disgusting.
It
Yes.
is.
Have you guys seen the first looks of that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when they're filming obviously Fantastic Four right now, or they're like doing reshoots because it comes out in May next year already, so less than a year. And this time they're actually doing the Thing that he looks more like the comics than he ever has.
I think so, man. You guys saw the
For
brow?
sure. He's got the brow. He's got the full brow.
Brow.
That's what I was
Brow,
missing
man.
from the first one, and the second one he was just a pile of rocks.
Yeah.
Or I guess like the remake.
Yeah.
Literally a pile.
Literally a pile of rocks.
Jimmy Bell one. Yeah.
Yeah, he really was.
funny, yeah.
He looked like one of those dudes from Noah.
Yeah.
One of those,
He did.
those rock guys from Noah.
But no, the eyebrows are great.
That house is
So,
great.
it's so great. I love that. Do you think it's going to be mostly CGI or it's going to be a mix, or do you think it's going to be
Well,
mostly practical?
In the video, in the first look of the video, we saw him pulling over the mask.
Yeah, so
So
is practical
It's going
a
to
little
be a
bit.
practical suit.
Right.
His-
no, I'm
his
saying-
eyeballs
but
will be
they're
like-
going to have to do a little bit of CGI. I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
I'm
like.
wondering, do you think it's going to be
Really
leaning
not-
towards more CGI or practical?
Like more like Iron Man 1 versus like
Right.
Avengers
Yeah.
Ultron and stuff like that.
I'm really excited for the whole scene of when he actually gets his Thing powers because they get the radiation in space. You know, that's the far tell sign. I mean, not the far tell sign. That's like the the original story that they
That's
get.
how they
like,
get their powers.
How they get powers in the comics is they get this radiation and they come back and then they change. They don't like change like right then because like Ben Grimm kind of like goes this whole like werewolf kind of thing into the Rock or into the not Dwayne Johnson, but
Yeah.
It's the Rock.
Michael Chiklis turns into
one
Dwayne
eye.
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
That'd be a great superpower if I could turn into the Rock. You know,
Yeah.
That dude's a superhero in and of himself, apparently.
it truly is.
You
Super ad.
guys heard this? Yeah, you got a super ad.
Hey, he ripped Gates.
Yeah, he ripped his gate off with his bare hands
Yeah, he
because it
did.
wouldn't open.
He was late for a
Apparently,
meeting.
allegedly.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Sure for,
No,
yeah, for sure.
man.
I believe that one.
It was like crumpled up in the corner. It was like late for a meeting.
Not only that, the dude had like a Land Rover in the background. You could have just rammed it with your car,
Yeah,
dude.
truly.
Yeah. It's like, nah, I can do it myself.
Yeah.
I'm also my own trash compactor.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's no way you just unless your security is that low.
There's
you
got to
know?
be security.
I know. I'm
footage
like,
of that
are these
somewhere.
meant to keep
People are
people
worried about
out?
the
Yeah.
quality of the security
I know.
fence.
Crazy. So
Hilarious.
No, I'm super excited for the thing.
I am
I'm
too.
super excited for everything. so
I mean,
far that
I'm
I've seen.
super excited for that. I'm super excited to see how they do Johnny because I think obviously being engulfed in flames is a pretty hard CGI
tricky
feat,
one.
Yeah.
you know. So I think that's gonna be pretty cool. The one thing that I'm a little nervous about is Reed Richards, and it's not because it's Pedro Pascal necessarily. I think Pedro Pascal is fine, but he's not necessarily our first choice, you know.
Sure.
But he's a good choice. I think he's gonna do a good job.
He's
We like
fine,
Pedro
yeah.
Pascal. I just. You know, Reed Richards is a tall, lanky guy to begin with, you know,
True.
Yeah.
and that's kind of you're like, oh, he stretches, you know, but like Pedro Pascal's not a tall or lanky guy,
Not
and I'm not
really.
sure how they're gonna do the stretching with him.
Yeah.
Like, if it's great as like the character, but as far as like the superpowers,
Yeah.
this might be a little bit weird seeing Pedro all stretched out.
I think that the stretching will be fine because in 2004 we had already stretching.
Yeah,
you know?
but
wait, just let me finish. But I think, because I also do think that it might be really weird because I think they have enough feet with CGI, especially in the MCU. They might be trying to go over their bounds and do stuff that
That's what I'm saying.
it's gonna look
the
too
thing
weird.
is-
Like
They haven't
They
been.
100% can make it look good. There are CG
Yeah.
artists out there that are amazing at their job.
Truly.
It's whether or not they're gonna give them the time they need.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
know.
To actually do it is
I know.
another thing.
Yeah. Just put Michael Bay's guys on it.
Yeah, they always do a good job.
That's true.
That
I
looks
mean,
fun.
he might explode in
Yeah,
it.
that looks fun.
They might change aspect ratio for one frame.
Yeah.
But it's
Have you
worth
seen
it.
that like little weird puff of smoke in
Yeah.
one Transformers movie?
Yeah. Weren't they just an anamorphic? No. No, that was just that one scene. So, yeah, I think overall it's going to be pretty good, you know. I think it's going to be a little weird or not weird. I think it's going to be interesting that it's, you know, it's set in the 60s. I'm all in on the costumes. I think that's great. They're back on like the white and the blue sweaters.
Sure.
I think that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, the whole aesthetic I am for.
The,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Jetsons
I'm into
future.
it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Jetsons
yeah.
future.
Well, that's kind of a thing, you know, is with the Running Man, like we were saying, with the dystopian future in the 80s, it was all this brutalist dystopian future.
Sure.
But you know, in the 60s, if you look at like how they perceived the future,
Yeah.
it was always
It's like
this
the
grand
Jetsons.
utopia.
It was grand.
You
Yeah.
know, even like for the 40s, 50s, and even maybe like not the 60s, but like mid 60s. You know, it was this utopian future, and then we don't see that anymore. Nobody envisions the future like that in real life anymore. So it's gonna be kind of nice to finally get a breath of fresh air of like, you know,
Yeah, you're
This-
right.
Yeah.
this bubbly future
Yeah, let's
kind
put
of.
some writers on there who aren't super depressed. Maybe
Yeah.
fill the writers' room a bottle of Zoloft or something.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, the hardest part, I guess, I don't want to get too deep into Fantastic Four right now, but the hardest part, obviously, is for them to come, because it's a 60s in a different universe, and they have to come into the mainline MCU. But not only that, they have to bring Victor Von Doom with them. Do you think Doom will be in that, or do you think he'll just, like, show up?
I don't think Doom will be in.
I don't think Doom's going to be in
Really?
Fantastic Four.
Okay.
I don't think RDJ is going to be the main Doom.
I don't either.
All right.
Yeah, hot
all
take.
right.
Tim gave me a theory, and
That is
I'm
a hot
full
take.
on board.
Okay. All
Do you
right.
care to share a little more of that?
But I do
How long
think
there he tried.
I actually
A
do
little
think
bit
the majority of the movie is going to take place in the 60s, and
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to. I honestly don't even know if they're going to flash forward to 616 in the movie.
Maybe in,
I
like, Doomsday?
In
Avengers
something
Doomsday?
else, yeah.
Honestly, I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some money on it. I think they're gonna probably after credit scene show like a Doom, but even if it is RDJ maybe, but it show Doom, but it might not be RDJ's Doom. Because I think that Doom is going to be different in the main continuation of MCU.
I
going
think so
forward.
too. Yeah.
So I think that's the only thing that we might see of Doom in this.
And if
movie.
you want to know what we're thinking about or what we're talking about, go read Marvel's Secret Wars.
Secret Wars.
Yeah, you'll get the gist.
And you'll get the gist. Secret Wars. And you'll get the gist. You'll
Battle
kind of
Earth.
understand why we're saying this. But that being said, coming from another, universe, we left Spider-Man, down and out in his apartment. Nobody knows him in 616. And here we are. We're all kind of in this world where we're like, yes, we're finally getting the Spider-Man we want,
Back to the basics. Here we
The
go.
basics. And then Kevin Feige drops, well, when we said we wanted Spider-Man to be more grounded, we just didn't tell you the ground was from an alien planet in another universe. Which leads me to believe that Venom's going to be in this.
Well, that makes sense with the end credit scene. They left a little bit of
The
symbiote
goo.
behind.
And, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's only one symbiote throughout the entire...
It's like a hive mind.
multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hive mind.
Yeah.
It was of all the symbiotes.
So
And
that's
Noel
how I think
and-
that's how
yeah.
they find out who Spider-Man is,
At the end of
Yeah,
And then I think he might actually go to what's the planet called?
Yeah. So Kaiton,
something like that.
Kyroton.
Yes.
Yeah. Or Null. It also is called
Null.
Null sometimes
Yeah.
as a planet, but Null's actually the leader of it. But well, at the end of what is it? I think No Way Home, right?
Yeah.
The after credits scene where Eddie
But
Brock
he was
is
just
in.
saying,
Yeah. yeah, I know, but like
No, it was out of Venom 2.
yeah, it was the end of Venom.
Yeah,
was
end
it?
of Venom
yeah,
2.
Yes.
They've tracked these end credits out so weirdly, and like they're not doing anything with like the Morbius one with Vulture. It's like, what are they setting up? I'm not figuring it out at all.
Yeah.
And like some of they used to be the next immediate movie
Yeah.
would be what the end credit is. Now it's like you wait a couple movies where it's like, what's going on with that guy?
Still have no
He's a
idea.
Superhero from Ted Lasso. I haven't
Yeah.
heard anything about that. That's been a minute.
Even the end of the first Spider-Man, not No Way Home, Homecoming. The end credit of that is with Vulture, Michael Keaton, when he's talking to Scorpion, and Scorpion's never even shown up yet.
Yeah. only in the clouds.
Yeah.
Only in the clouds.
Yeah.
in No
Right.
Way
Right.
Home.
Right.
Yeah.
We saw him.
At the third one. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. But doesn't a piece of the Venom symbiote stay behind?
Yeah,
in
Yes.
the universe?
in-
Yeah, right.
in
So
the universe.
I think he's gonna probably try and find. They're gonna somehow try and.
It's
twist
gonna.
it. He's the only thing that remembers that Peter, because he saw Peter was, or Eddie saw that Peter was
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. So he's gonna try and track down Spider-Man probably.
That's
Well, so do they-
that symbiote.
They'll just use that little piece of symbiote and Tom
And
Hardy
that's
won't be
that's how
involved
this.
then?
Yeah.
I'm
that's-
sure
that's
Tom
what
Hardy's
they're
probably
doing.
not gonna be
No,
involved
I
in
don't
it.
think so.
Yeah.
It would be
I
great.
mean, that
It would
makes
be
sense.
I
awesome.
would love it, but yeah.
It would also make insane amount of money. It's like Sony literally could do that, no problem. They could easily make a Tom Holland, Tom Hardy co-star, movie, but they just choose not to. It's just
I don't think they can though. I don't think they can. I think there's like contracts that stop them from doing that type of thing.
Also, the problem with it is that they have to have the Black Suit Spider-Man be a bad arc for Peter.
For Peter.
And at this point in the Sony universe, Venom has already become an anti-hero, so he's not going to be one to be
Yeah,
bad.
it make things a little bit too convoluted.
Yeah, you're right.
complicated.
Yeah, because there's no point to the black suit if it's not making Peter bad
True,
Right.
for a
true.
while.
Yeah, Tom Hardy has become like an
Yeah,
anti-hero.
so like
He's kind of like good. So
Well,
he's the one saving the day.
so I don't even. But I don't
Yeah.
even think that. I don't even think Eddie Brock's gonna be Venom in Spider-Man.
No?
No, I don't
I
think
can see
so
being
either.
Harry.
I think Harry's
I
gonna
can see
be
being Harry.
a Harry or
Maybe
even
Osborn.
yeah, or a Ned.
Yeah.
Or Ned.
No,
yeah.
that's gonna be Hobgoblin.
I think
Yeah.
Ned will be
Ned's
Hobgoblin.
literally Hobgoblin.
I know. We just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but that's literally his character. That's like Norman Osborn, not the Green Goblin. It's
True.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if he goes to the other planet, like the Venom planet, or something like that, or maybe they set up for Secret Wars.
Yeah.
It's-
And I think
I don't
that's
know.
kind of what they're going to be setting up for, because
Yeah.
that's the big in the comics. That's even bigger than the end game.
Truly.
Oh yeah.
And Battle Earth.
It's gonna be
Battle
it's
Earth.
gonna be
Well, that-
if they can set it up.
If
correctly,
they're gonna
it's
do the
be huge.
'80s
Okay.
Secret Wars, yeah.
Right.
That's the thing.
I don't know
if
if
they
they're-
set
which
it
one
up
they're gonna
right.
do.
That's
though.
right. Yeah. So, speaking of, I guess
Some iconic duos.
Some
like
iconic
Spider-Man,
duos.
Venom, we got
Yeah.
another iconic duo.
Oasis. I really don't know too much about Oasis.
Liam
Honestly.
and Noel have put their differences aside, man. That's all you need to know.
Oasis
It was
reunion.
wild. It's been how many decades have they been
I
feuding?
think it's probably been 25 years that they've been feuding.
Had they been feuding?
That's what I'm saying, though. So I have a theory about it. Either they really hated each other for 25 years and they could not put it past themselves to get back together as brothers. They're like literally brothers,
Yeah.
So something either happened where they fucking hated each other that much, or they've been gaslighting us for 25 years. And this is the greatest
Wow.
PR marketing stunt in the world because you know how much money they're gonna make on this tour?
Oh, so much.
Oh, for
Disgusting,
sure.
disgusting.
So
amount.
much.
Yeah.
25 years. I don't know if they can hold out for 25 years. Yeah.
I know.
On
They've
PR start.
done on smaller scales, like MCR. They left their last song, "Fake Your Death," on their compilation album. Came back 7 years later in 2019, like, oh man, you guys have been screaming California 2019 for the past 7 years, past decade. Like, it's been coming.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. I wouldn't put it past them. I think they're both conniving, little weasels who can do it.
Yeah,
And it's not like- and the
they're
thing-
feuding in
the-
public,
what-
while meanwhile they're all just drinking champagne back
That's
at
what
their
I'm
house
saying.
having fun.
That's what I'm saying is on the other end of it. It's not like they weren't successful. So they were like super successful.
Yeah.
And then it's not like they weren't doing music. They both had their solo projects, so they're both still making money on top of the residuals of Oasis, just waiting for the right time to be like, you know what? I think it's time to say I forgive you.
Well, yeah. Do you think maybe that they had started out this plan not thinking it was going to be 25 years?
Yeah, and they might have just wrote
And then
it.
They just kept rolling with it because they've been doing good solo and it's been working, and they finally were like, all right, we
Yeah,
gotta
all
come
right, we
back.
can
It's not unheard of for
I can see that.
for that type on that level. It's not unheard of on that
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
I-
if
really
they are
big
comfortable
into
doing their
paranoia.
solo
Well,
stuff.
on the same note-
financially.
On the same note of grand PR schemes, we just saw that there was a leaked contract that supposedly Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are set to break up later this month in September.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
And I wouldn't put it past them to say that that's not real, and to some
Yeah.
extent,
We'll find out.
The NFL and everything else.
That's what I'm saying. The NFL is think about how much money they make. Think about how much money Taylor Swift makes. They're like, let's put them together. Let's see if we can, maximize our profit off of
Well, that's
this.
the thing. It's all entertainment. It's all a show, and the show doesn't have to just stop at the stage.
No.
They can keep playing it out in the public eye, and there's some people that are really good at it. Like,
Yeah,
what
and
was
Taylor
that
Swift's really good at it.
actress or singer. Someone recently was just applauded because wasn't it Sydney Sweeney where they're like, she knows how to play it.
With
Like,
Glenn
she
Glenn
knows-
Powell was
yeah,
saying
with
that.
Glenn
Speaking
Powell.
of Glenn Powell,
Yeah.
he was saying that she's really good at leaning into that. We were having an affair thing, even though they weren't.
Yeah, she's like, oh.
She
this is
was
good
happily
story, this is good
engaged the
entertainment, let's
entire
go for
time.
it.
Yeah, but it got views. So
Oh yeah.
it might be. We'll see.
Yeah.
Either
We'll
way,
see.
I'm interested.
Oh yeah, I
Wild.
will listen. I'm down for it. I don't care what the backstory is. Let's go. Give us more Oasis.
We'll get a documentary on it in like
I don't
5
know.
years.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Netflix.
I'm excited for it. I'm
Yeah,
excited for it.
Netflix.
But I don't think they're going to
Making
do
a
as good as they were.
champagne supernova in the sky. How they
Yeah.
feuded for 25 years
Yeah,
and still love
it's
each
gonna
other.
be don't look back in anger. The story of Oasis. So
So
Yeah.
all right. So that's the news this week. Hopping right into trailers. A bunch of trailers came out this week. The first one we watched was Sonic 3. This is the third installment, obviously, of the Sonic trilogy. The first one introduced Sonic into the real world. They did come out with the first trailer. It was insane. He looked disgusting, and the Sonic, and the internet did bully, the production company into literally delaying the film and making him look more genuine like Sonic. So that's a feat all within itself. And I don't think if that happened, it would become a trilogy and become, this.
well, they're
big.
fun movies. They're
They're super
good
fun.
movies.
Yeah,
But that's
they
what I'm
would
saying.
not have made the third one.
Yeah,
Sonic.
Yeah, with Sonic, I don't think they could have made a third movie, is what I'm saying.
100%.
No way.
I would have died.
But this is kind of the fourth production that the Sonic is doing, because they also had Knuckles' show that just came out.
Which wasn't as good.
No.
Honestly, for being a show called Knuckles, it really did not center around Knuckles.
I really did not like it either. It was Knuckles and a buddy.
Well, Knuckles' scenes were cool.
Knuckles scenes were cool, but
When Knuckles was in it, it was cool.
it's like his friend, his family. It was a whole thing. It was not. Then bowling had a whole hand in it. It was preposterous. But the second one introduced Tails and Knuckles, but this third one does introduce Shadow,
Which is great.
And Shadow, I thought was going to be voiced by Hayden Christensen. Would have been awesome.
Would have been nice.
I would have loved it.
Would have loved it.
Especially now that he's getting the love back, and they're like, oh wait, we should not have given him the Nickelback treatment. He's actually good.
He's actually
The
good.
Jumper was a classic.
I do love Hayden, but it is Keanu Reeves.
Which is also fun.
Which is also
I can't
awesome.
be mad at Keanu.
Sure.
Not at all.
And
Not at all.
he sounds awesome in
He
the
sounds
trailer,
awesome.
so we'll go with it.
I'm into it, and I think to the point of talking earlier a little bit about Denzel Washington not giving up. I mean, Jim Carrey's back as two characters, and one of the reasons that I think these movies work so well is because they are just fun movies, and unlike Mario or Minecraft or any of these other video game movies, Sonic doesn't really have a whole lot of backstory to go off of if you're looking at just the games. There's the original.
Running and catching rings.
That's what I'm saying, and Jim Carrey can play the character however he wants to play it. That's the way that he plays it is not necessarily how Dr. Egghead is supposed to be. Robotnik is supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, and that's perfect for Jim Carrey, where he has that full creative
free range,
sure.
Yeah,
to do whatever he wants to do.
Be Jim Carrey.
Yeah, all we wanted to do, literally with the Sonic movie, all we want is a semi-decent story and for it to look good, and they do that,
Truly.
Yeah.
And that's why we keep watching them because they're good, and I think this one's going to be just right on brand with that,
They know what they're doing with it, and they're doing it well.
Sonic does have some wild side characters, so I'm hoping that one of them do pop in.
Bring in Amy.
They have Amy. They have Big the cat. They have Victor the crocodile.
Well, I think they're going to bring the Chows in on this one, right? You were saying that, Tim?
The little.
I was saying that it's based off of the Sonic Advance 2, which is the game where they bring the Chows in. So maybe.
Yeah.
I guess
We'll see. I do love a Chow.
Speaking of
Chow Island.
Speaking of PR stunts, I have a very, very strong theory that Sonic was also a great PR stunt.
I can see that.
It could be, but I think that was just an artist's creative choice, and then it turns out he was just wrong.
He was very wrong.
Unfortunately.
I don't know, man. I don't know because think about it. I have a mug that says there's no bad publicity except obituary. And I think that was just a grand scheme to get hype for a Sonic movie that otherwise nobody was really that hyped for,
But it could also just be the other saying of never let a good disaster go to waste. Where they're this is
maybe they realized it.
Let's go with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I just find it very hard to believe. Let me ask you guys. If you guys were the CGI artist who designed Sonic, would you say, man, I did some good work here?
Well, I mean, I guess yes and no, because I feel like their job was just to do it. They may or may not even be Sonic fans. They're just I just make this blue fucking hedgehog. I don't even know who Sonic is. I just have to make him.
I know.
And
but
now once they saw the YouTube, and it was the most disliked video of all time at that time in YouTube history, and they're oh wow, maybe we need to make it.
But as a Sonic fan,
I think that they were also trying to go a whole different route. I don't think the Sonic movies would have been the same.
Right.
I think they were trying to go more realistic
if you
with
go
the
back,
Sonic movies.
if you go back and look
more
at the
dramatic.
very first trailer, it is much more humanistic. They're spending much more time with the humans, and Sonic
it's not
moves like a human too.
Yeah, it's not a campy fun movie. I would think they were trying to put more drama on it originally and make him more humanoid.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, but the thing with Sonic was it didn't look like the artist just didn't have enough time.
No.
It looked like it was creative choices.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's where they went. They were I got this idea. We're going for the realistic thing. Here are my creative choices. And then the fact that they could turn around and be oh, wait, this I have to change this.
The fans
I respect that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, So maybe they realized they had something and played into it, but I have a hard time believing they went from Sonic to a really good-looking Sonic.
They just changed the eyes.
Yeah.
That's not true.
They changed the body too.
They changed everything about him.
He's shorter.
But the thing is, it takes so much time to build a character like that and do that CGI and VFX that I don't think that an artist would put his heart and soul into making something look that good, even though it looked bad. But it was
I understand, but all they had to do was create a trailer. They could have had that movie already developed on the back end.
That trailer, they still have to build out the full model and everything for it.
Yeah, but that was a bad model.
Well, they didn't know that at the time.
That's a creative
I think they
choice.
did.
No.
Well, speaking of, do you think that Metal Mario's or Metal Sonic's gonna show up?
Yeah.
In the
I
Sonic
hope
3?
so. I don't think Sonic 3. I don't think so.
No?
Maybe at the end.
Yeah.
I think Shadow's gonna stay a villain this movie, But I think that Metal Mario is gonna show up at the end, that's how, or Metal Sonic is gonna show up at the end, and that's how Shadow is gonna join the team.
I don't think Shadow's gonna join the team.
Enough of these anti-heroes, man.
No,
I want just bad guys. I want Venom. I want Shadow just to be these assholes.
Yeah, well, I think Shadow will be the villain this entire movie.
Give him a gun.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be.
In the Shadow game on the GameCube, he has a gun.
He has a gun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He has a gun in the GameCube.
So I don't think I've played
Shadow
it
game.
since like PlayStation 1, like going way back.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure why he has a gun, but I know for sure, canon-wise, he has a gun in the Shadow game.
Give him a gun.
Give him a gun. I say give him a gun in this one.
He breaks Knuckles' hand in the trailer.
Yeah, but if you look at it, I've watched that trailer twice, and he moves it the way that your wrist moves.
Yeah, but
So,
who are we to know that? Who are we to say that?
Do you know the anatomy of a hedgehog?
That's what I was gonna say. Who are we
Yeah,
to
but
know
it's
that
like this, and he
anatomy of
moves
a
it like
hedgehog?
this.
A hedgehog with 4 limbs.
Yeah.
Actually, Knuckles is an echidna. He's not a hedgehog.
Well, still.
What's echidna?
Echidna, yeah.
Yeah, it's a different race.
Echidna and platypus are the two only legging mammals. The mantra is.
I don't think I've ever heard of an echidna.
Are they red?
No, they're not red.
Oh, okay.
They call it the spiny anteater too sometimes.
Interesting.
I know all about them because platypus are like their like closest relative.
Yeah, you know all about the
I do know all about platypus.
Interesting.
Hell yeah.
Did you guys see the Superman trailer?
Superman,
I did.
and not the Superman, but the Superman.
Super/Man.
Yes, the documentary.
Yeah.
And it is
Let's hear it.
far other side away from like the can be fun comic movies.
So
and
far,
sound.
yeah.
That is
Somber.
a trailer that got my eyes watering. I'm gonna cry during that movie.
Yeah,
I just know it.
It's gonna be sad for sure.
It's the Christopher Reeves documentary on how he became Superman and how his accident didn't stop him from becoming, this Superman.
In real life, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though
Striving for hope.
he didn't believe, I think there's a quote of him saying, I'm not Superman. I'm not. It's just a character I play, and I don't believe that I'm a hero. But man, did he become one?
He really did.
Whoever was in charge of casting for him originally, gold medal. Like they
I think we all just look up to Christopher Reeves as Superman. He's
he
like
fits the bill so well with the looks
Yeah.
and the character, especially like we're gonna see in this movie fully. He embodies Superman like to a T.
to a T. Yeah, even in the wake of his accident, it's got to be so tough to be. I mean, my biggest fear is losing a limb, and it's got to be the biggest,
Let alone losing your whole body.
let alone losing your whole body after being,
Being
Superman in everybody's eyes.
Absolutely.
It's so hard. It's probably so hard to find your identity after that.
So brutal.
But he did, and I'm actually interested because I obviously know the story of what happened, and it means something to me. But I'm really interested to kind of find out what it means to other people who have been crippled, And I think that's when it's going to get in, because I think it means something completely different, to these people. There's even a little part of it where it's like people are walking because of him right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The research that he was able to fund and stuff.
Yeah.
Is truly groundbreaking.
Yeah, so I'm really interested in diving into that one and crying my eyes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go buy a fresh box of tissues.
Yeah,
for that one.
Seriously. There's no date on that, but I believe it is sometime this year.
Yeah.
I think it is this year.
Yeah.
Well, Superman. Speaking of Superman,
Speaking of Superman,
different Superman. Tom Welding is going to be in a new movie called Mafia Wars.
Mafia Wars.
Now, do we know if this has any affiliation to the Facebook game Mafia Wars?
So I have no idea. I haven't heard about this movie until just literally now when you guys talked about it. But Mafia Wars and Farmville. Oh, I watched the trailer obviously, but Farmville and Mafia Wars were these games in 2011 that were popping at the time, and they were Facebook was just popped off, and Pet Society was also in there, and these Facebook kind of MMO games that were just free to play, but you could also put money into them.
Yeah.
Before cryptocurrency became a thing, so it was kind of groundbreaking for in the time. But it is so weird to have this movie. Is it based on it, Tim? Do you know?
I believe it's based off of the online game, and that's on par with it's like a Wizard 101 or where it's it's not like you have to
Like a Clash
download
of
you don't have to
Clans?
download anything off
It's
of
like a
Steam
Flash
or
game,
anything like
yeah.
that. It's a totally online game, but that you can like put a web browser in.
All right,
and stuff
I'll
like
have to do
that.
some more
But
research.
I think
but
that it's like
that's
you
insane.
can get a little bit more into it. I think it might be the same thing as the Facebook game.
maybe
I'm
the
just-
game
If
did
you're talking,
evolve.
yeah.
I'm just happy to see Tom Welling kind of acting again because I really haven't seen him do anything but Smallville reunions for the past like
He was
6 or
in-
7
He
years.
was in another cop show that was not that good.
Was he?
Yeah, he's been in a couple of things the last couple. They have not been marketed great at all. So
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
Tom Welling's a stud.
He still looks
Well,
great.
it looks like a really good, just straightforward action movie.
Yeah,
Like, I don't even
yeah.
care what the story's gonna be like, just based off the trailer. It's gonna be a fun ride.
Just
It
to
is.
see him as like the main character, I'll watch.
With a
it.
goatee.
I don't
Yeah, the
know.
goatee.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I don't know, guys.
We'll see.
I'm into it.
Wow.
I'm into it. I
That's
guess.
really all I was gonna say about that.
Yeah.
And the last. Oh, we actually.
No, we have a couple more.
We have two
Yeah.
more. Yeah. So the monkey teaser, the monkey, that's all it's called. The monkey is a movie that was directed by the same. That is going to be directed by the same director that made Long Legs.
In production with James Wan.
James Wan.
And based off our favorite writer,
Stephen King. Which honestly, we all had our gripes about Long Legs, and then we also watched The Black Coat's Daughter, trying to be like, man, why is this not hitting so well? Maybe it's a victim of circumstance, and it is not. I think Osgood is just not a great writer. I think he's a great horror filmmaker. So maybe with the material that Stephen King is handing him and production assistant James Wan, maybe we can actually get a solid horror movie.
I have high hopes. Yeah, it's a great trifecta, perfect storm. Great material to base it off. We got someone who knows how to make a good horror movie, but has been striving and so far failing on
Yeah.
the story.
Well, not really failing. I mean, it's still a successful movie, but
Whoa!
if you like horror movies,
What's your definition of success?
Yeah.
It was successful. I mean,
They made
their
money, or
Yeah.
it was a good
but
movie.
They did not get my respect.
Never get that respect.
yeah. So I'm excited for it. I think I'm gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna hope for the best.
too.
I have high hopes. Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. I think the
monkey.
monkey is a fun story too.
And I think
Theo James.
and Theo James is the lead in it, and also Osgood is acting in it. Actually, I think he's top billed in that.
Oh, really?
All right.
But he's been in a lot of things actually. He's a pretty I shouldn't say renowned actor, but he's a decent actor.
He's up
He's
there.
got a
an
pretty-
actor.
He's got a pretty good catalog.
That does kind of make me weary. Like, he's already like on the cusp of like being really good. Does he want to take away his energy directing and acting?
Acting?
Because sometimes that can
Yeah.
start to blur certain lines and make it not as good.
Yeah.
I think he should full head dive into the acting on this good material with someone amazing at your back and go for it instead of trying to take on too much and then
Yeah,
it
I
might
agree.
fall apart.
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
just that he's top billed doesn't mean he's going to be a main character.
That's true.
That's
You
true.
know, he could just be putting a lot of money into his own
Well,
pocket. He'd be like, I'm going to pay that guy a lot.
He's
The
just
way
gonna
that-
pull a tear.
The way that IMDb,
Yeah.
the way that IMDb works actually is just who is the most talked about at the time, who
Sure,
has the
sure.
best star
Okay.
rating
Right.
is the top bill.
Not necessarily
So
who's
it might
in
not
it.
It's not even
Like
who's
the
getting
main
paid the
character.
most. It's
Right,
not
right.
who's in the movie the most. It's just who's
Who's trending
and
right now.
because he was trending because of Long Legs, I'm sure that's why he jumped up to
Sure.
the top bill.
Okay, that
There's
makes
some
sense.
algorithm.
Yeah.
That gives me a better feeling.
Yeah. And we love Theo James, and I think he's gonna do a great job. So
Yeah.
Excellent.
and on top of that, it's based off of a short story, so maybe they'll take a concept from the short story and kind of build their own world, So
Yeah, which would be
expand.
really nice because we've seen that before with Stephen King, where it starts off with a short story and they stick pretty true to it, but because you're given so little material, they're able to expand it a ton, and they did a good job on it last
Yeah.
time.
The Boogeyman.
Yeah, the Boogeyman.
Yeah. And didn't the trailer drop, or the first screening of Life of Chuck just happen, which is another short story that is being adapted that, they're kind of, I think, taking their liberties with a little bit.
Starring Mark Hamill and Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. And Karen Gillian.
And Karen Gillian, apparently.
Directed by our guy, Mike Flanagan.
Right.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
That one's
There's no doubt in my mind.
That
that's
one's
gonna
gonna be
be
a crier. Yeah.
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 So,
That one's not even scary. That
Oh,
one's,
shit.
yeah. It's going to be good. It's going to be
that one's like not
a
remotely
Shawshank
scary,
or
really.
something.
Yeah.
So,
Talking about another movie that's gonna be good, Minecraft.
no.
Oh,
guys see
hey,
Minecraft?
don't get ahead of yourself.
I don't know.
I thought it was gonna be good too.
All right. Before I get into the trailer about Minecraft, obviously Minecraft is huge. Everyone knows Minecraft. Steve, I had never really gotten into Minecraft. I think I was a little too old. I was like playing Minecraft on like my phone when it like first came out. And like I never played the PC version, but I never got into like the whole world building. I know so many people have, and like I love like the whole fact that there's like a library in Minecraft that like people from other countries can like access that like some illegal information they can't read from their country. It's like it's so cool. It's like this awesome hub.
I don't think I've ever played Minecraft.
I'll tell you what, I put some hours in my.
Tim, let's
I
hear it.
played a ton of
I'm
Minecraft.
gonna-
I'm the oldest one here. So
All right, never mind.
I don't think I've ever.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I have all the handbooks on the bookshelf right now.
Do you really?
He does.
Probably
Yeah,
50
he
feet away
does.
from us. They have all the recipes. Oh, I put some hours.
yeah,
in it.
I
I love
played
it.
so much Minecraft.
Yeah.
And like I had one buddy, we got real weird. We played a ton to where the point like we started creating like different rituals. Where, like every time we built a world, we have to go and pluck a flower that was standing on its own, kill a baby lamb, put that flower in a chest, and bury it, and then we would build our castle on top of that.
Sure, we gotta play some. We gotta grind sometime. Me and Connor.
Yeah.
Dude, Connor and I was there like for 2 days straight and played it like once a year.
All right, so being such Minecraft fans, Trevor and Tim, let's hear your reactions to the trailer.
It's gonna suck. I was so excited.
Having never played a single thing of Minecraft, it's gonna suck.
Yeah,
I
don't
saw
have
that.
high hopes. I don't think it's good. It's just not a concept that's gonna translate.
It looks
well.
so strange. Like, why does Jason Momoa like have like his hair like that?
I
Like,
saw a comment on it, and it was like, dude, Jack Black couldn't even shave his beard for this. Are you
I
joking?
think someone made a joke where I think Josh was telling me that they're like, it looks like an SNL skit.
yeah,
It
it really does. You're
He
right.
didn't,
You're
like
right.
he just put a T-shirt on.
Yeah,
They,
it does.
they
Come on.
chose the roundest man to play the squarest
Come on.
character.
I saw another comment that
Steve's
that
I'm old.
I
No,
saw
he's like a 14-year-old.
I saw another meme, and it was a side by side of Steve, the actual character from Minecraft, and Will Smith,
Yeah.
and it's like a spot on representation. Like, why wouldn't they get Will Smith?
So much better cast out. Don't get me wrong, I
Like down
love
down
Jack
to the
Black.
goatee. It was like, what? Did
I don't
Steve
know,
always
man.
have a
I don't
goatee?
know.
No.
No, I don't know. Why? Okay, the animals are blocky. Why aren't
Right.
the people blocky? Are they from a different world?
They gotta be.
It is.
must-
It's
they
gotta
gotta
be. I think the whole premise of it is you're going to this other
The
world
Minecraft
where anything
world.
is possible and you can create anything. And I think that's what they're leaning into is that type of Minecraft.
So like another Jumanji with Jack Black again.
Basically.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. Now you're saying.
I know Steve, Alex, the zombie, and Enderman becomes the Smash Bros. The four of them are Smash Bros.
Yes,
characters.
yeah.
I don't really know any lore of zombie or Enderman. I know Alex and Steve are just like the two main.
Those are
Characters.
Those are two names.
But Enderman, what is Enderman?
The Enderman is Slenderman.
Is he really?
Yeah.
It's literally the Slenderman.
Okay.
Actually, in the game, they'll pop up at night, different places, and if you look at them, they'll just stalk you.
Really?
They,
Oh,
they,
he's Slenderman.
they can teleport. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I
And
do
then
like
there's
that.
the Ender Dragon as well, which would be probably the main.
I think
bad
that
guy
they
of the
did
movie.
announce that the dragon is the bad guy.
Yeah,
Even in
which
the
makes
trailer.
sense. 'Cause that's how you beat the game is you go to that end world and
Yeah,
you fight the Ender
it wasn't like
Dragon.
the Ender Pearls you gotta
Yeah,
get.
it's the Ender Pearls. Yeah, but yeah.
It's
that
just gonna be a
portal.
Jumanji. That's what it's
Are
gonna be.
zombies and
Yeah.
creepers the same thing?
No, well,
Well, I know they're different
They're not.
characters, but like are they the same function?
they're both mobs. That they both come out at night, but one of them blows up. and
Oh,
one
the
of them
creeper
just tries to-
explodes, right? Yeah. And the zombie just like damages
Yeah,
you.
it's just like a zombie. Just
Okay.
"Bleh,"
Sure.
slapping
Actually,
around.
there's some dark lore behind the mobs. Like zombies. Well, obviously zombies are like dead humans.
Mhm.
But I think creepers are like, it's I can't. I'm not gonna speak about it. But I just know it's
Interesting.
some dark lore
Well,
behind it.
speaking of dark lore, I think Agatha
Agatha
Dropped.
all along.
the trailer.
Yeah, the last trailer for Agatha dropped. They did some interesting. I don't know if you guys had watched it, but when they ask the young boy's name, they do like this effect where like they scribble on his face. I thought that was so fascinating because like Marvel had never done that kind of editing before, and they don't want us to know his name. So like, obviously, a lot of the internet are thinking that this boy is like a future version of one of Wanda's children, or that he's just like another red herring, like Ralph Boner was.
Yeah.
Or I'm not really sure what exactly they're going on with this, but I am eager to see Agatha all along because it is like the first confirmed like sequel series because they keep advertising WandaVision and they're like, oh, WandaVision's done, watch this now. This is like the first like sequel series, which is also fascinating because they're not necessarily doing a WandaVision season 2. They're kind of just doing this whole
Well, Vision would also be a sequel series.
Exactly. So it'll be the first trilogy of this Disney Plus series, which is I think so cool because they could do that with say Moon Knight. They could do like a Dark Suns or something. That could be like Moon Knight season 2. So I think this just possibility or this like fact that it's just like a sequel series opens up the door to a lot of like other potential
Spin-offs.
Yeah, I can see that. I do think it's a couple of years too late.
No, I agree. I certainly agree because WandaVision came out in 21 and this is now end of 24, so like this is long overdue.
And about a character nobody really cares about.
Right, like Agatha was never. No, I agree. Like Agatha, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, but they do claim that it's gonna have an impact on a big impact in the MCU.
Like
their big impact is dropping one main character at the very end. That they're gonna be like, this is gonna be a character in the MCU. That's their big impact.
Yeah,
they're gonna make us watch 6 episodes of hour episodes.
One post-credits.
Yeah,
I've heard it's gonna be really dark too.
I hear and Aubrey Plaza is.
I like Aubrey Plaza,
and this is the first series that's coming out since like the reshuffling and everything. So I think, and this is actually supposed to come out last October, but they just pushed it back a whole year. I think just because they wanted to reshoot, and I think it's gonna just be better because if they rushed it out like they did say Secret Invasion, like it would just be another shit show on Disney Plus. But
Secret Invasion was good, and if it was 2 episodes longer.
Yeah, I agree. They kind of ended abruptly, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'm seeing some far stretch theories with that trailer with Agatha.
With Agatha,
I am
right?
too. Did you see the one with the
W?
Yeah,
Oh man,
stupid.
Oh, on his mouth?
No. So when they're welcoming all of like the coven
in, and they tear
and
down.
They tear down, and there's
It
a
says-
W that hangs up still, like off the welcome. It's still hanging there, and people think it's Mephisto because it's upside down M.
They're like,
It's still a W. It's not even.
if you take that and spin it 180, it's a Mephisto.
Like,
Mephisto's in it. Mephisto's in it.
No.
Stupid.
Mephisto, I think, is confirmed though for Ironheart, right?
Yeah, I
something.
think I don't think he's confirmed, but I think he's the speculated villain of Ironheart.
Well, they haven't. Yeah.
You're right. It's not confirmed or anything, but I did hear that he would be the villain in Ironheart. But then obviously, WandaVision, he was highly,
There's a lot. There's a
a
lot,
lot of Mephisto stuff. I remember
There's a
during
lot of
21
stuff.
that.
Yes.
But I think
He's gonna be around.
I think one of the things about Mephisto, and not to continue on this too long, but I think one of the things about Mephisto is he's like their devil. He's Marvel's devil.
He's literally Satan.
And I think one of the things about the devil is he's kind of a conniving character.
Yeah.
So I think when Mephisto shows up, you're gonna go back and watch these shows, and there's gonna be sprinkled.
Yeah.
Like, him in there, yeah.
They're gonna be sprinkled
I
like,
like
oh
that.
wait, maybe he was here, the whole
that.
time,
Yeah.
but we weren't looking in the right place.
Right.
So we'll see. But
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I don't know. I might not see.
Maybe.
I'll watch
We'll
it.
see how far.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, so Agatha comes out September 18th, which is just in a few weeks. But I definitely will be watching it, and this comes out sporadically, the first 2 episodes, and then a new episode each week. So I'll definitely be on here talking about it as well. I think there's 8 episodes, so like 7 weeks of Agatha we'll have.
All right.
Great.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Excellent.
No.
For this,
No.
for this,
No.
I'll watch it. Give me a reason.
I've seen all of MCU content. I will see all MCU content up until Secret Wars. That's what I'm giving myself.
All right, fair.
Giving myself Secret Wars, and that's
Was
it.
that like a Secret Wars that's like you're gonna be done, or is it like if they can keep me entertained?
No,
at
but
that
I think-
point, I'll keep going.
Well, there's a whole rabbit hole of Secret Wars. How like it's like the end of like it's basically like
It's Crisis on
Infinite
Infinite.
Earths. Like
Yeah.
everything goes into one. So basically, it's like a soft reboot. So if the soft reboot does like hype, I mean I probably will, but I won't be as invested as I was since 2008 up until Endgame and now.
Like I say, I'm probably the opposite. I'm just waiting for Secret Wars so
Yeah.
then I can start watching again.
Yeah, right.
That's fair.
Yeah. They take
It's a whole
everything
out
away.
trip.
Yeah,
You don't even have to watch anything. It'll reboot again.
Yeah.
It will be a soft reboot, but I'm sure that they'll keep some characters. Like they're introducing the Fantastic Four so late into the game too that I think that they'll keep them.
Baby, it all depends on contracts.
It all depends on it, obviously, yeah. But like,
You can look at these actors to work
Man,
for
if the
so
multiverse is
long.
ending. Yeah, you have 7 years left.
People age out.
signed
Yeah, you
up
always
for
have
movies.
Hemsworth. And that dude-
Hemsworth, he'll be there. I'm sure.
and
Hemsworth will
that's
be
because
Secret
he's gonna look like this until he's 80.
Wars. Truly.
At this point.
So.
Yeah, I could see him and Mark Ruffalo just being in the next couple Avengers movies.
Well, Mark Ruffalo's a complete CGI character
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
so that would work. Yeah, that would
Exactly.
work.
No, yeah, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're gonna keep most of the characters from the MCU.
Yeah, I hope that everyone
there's gonna-
does.
Well, they've been-
die off
it's just
or
a way-
like,
I mean, they've significantly youngered their entire cast.
oh, for sure.
I'll tell you what they're gonna do is they're gonna take their favorite characters, they're gonna have an excuse to kill off the rest of their characters, and then just be like, this is it, and no more multiverse.
Yeah,
this
deal
is
with
them.
Good.
So yeah.
Good. I'm done with the
And that's-
multiverse.
yeah.
So.
Sick.
All right, what's next?
All right, that's done with the trailers. The news is done. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
That's right.
Ah, he's right here.
You know, I just said it 3 times.
I did. Obviously, you guys have seen the first Beetlejuice. I've seen it
yeah.
many times. I know Tim's seen it many times. 1988, I believe, Tim Burton film.
Man, that long ago?
I think
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah, it was
84,
a long time
right?
ago. Yeah.
84, 88.
It was in the 80s.
It's somewhere, yeah,
Mid-80s.
mid-80s.
It was one of Tim Burton's
It was his
first films.
It was his first big
film,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
3 decades.
I think it was his first
Yeah,
movie.
30 years. Yeah, 30
Yeah.
years.
No. If it was 84, they went 40.
Yeah. When is the first one? 85, 84?
Mm-hmm.
So
The first one.
Beetlejuice is 88, and
88.
Pee-wee's Big
Yeah.
Adventure is
80.
85.
85. Okay, that's his first movie.
okay.
Yeah, Pee-wee's Big
Yeah.
Adventure is his
Yeah.
first movie, but this was his second movie.
Mm-hmm.
I should say not really second, but like blockbuster
Blockbuster, yeah, feature film.
feature film.
So yeah, I mean, everyone knows, Alec Baldwin and his wife. What is her name?
Barbara.
Her real name. Either way.
Oh yeah, that's her name in the movie. It's,
Yeah. They get this. They buy this
Catherine
new
O'Hara?
house.
No, it's
Who are we talking about?
Barbara.
Alec Baldwin's
It's
wife in
Why
the
can't I think
first
of her name?
movie.
Gina Davis.
Gina
Gina
Davis.
Davis. Yes. They buy a house. They end up dying. They don't realize they're dead, and now they can't leave their house. And someone is trying to buy their home, and it's a whole rabbit hole. And they figure out that like this afterlife, not like this afterlife, but the afterlife is real, and that like you can come in and out, and there's demons, there's all these creatures and stuff. But there's this one certain demon named Beetlejuice that literally advertises to like what as a bug killer at first, but then he goes and like tries to like ruin.
Well, he tries to marry.
But like his like first introduction, like he like his company, even in the second one, they talk about like how he like goes and like tries to ruin people's plans, or like
Yeah.
his ruse is that like he's hired to be like this character to like ruin someone's interaction of something. Like in the first one, that he would scare them to leave the house. Like
Right.
he does like this task.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's like an exorcist.
Like for hire. He's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
for hire demon,
Yeah.
I guess. But in the first one, he does try to marry this 16-year-old, and this wild, even more rabbit hole goes. But he does get defeated. He is the villain in that one. But Beetlejuice, the sequel, 2024 AD, did just come out, and we did go see it opening night. It does, build upon, and not only call back on the first one, builds upon the first one, and it goes much more in depth in Beetlejuice's history and the history of like the afterlife.
Well, yeah, it shows us how
does.
Beetlejuice
That was kinda
went in.
crazy,
I thought
yeah.
it was kind of cool how it
That's
shows.
kinda
Yeah.
cool. You
Yeah.
actually
They
see
showed
how he died.
Beetlejuice's origin, which
Yeah.
is like so fascinating to me.
And Trevi, I know you didn't see
Yeah,
it,
I missed that.
but I walked through that movie and I said, in a world of sequels and remakes right now, this one was a good one.
All right.
I think it was decent, and I think if this one had come out in '88 and substituted that one, I think it would have been just as good.
Oh, that's okay. I gotta go see it then. All right.
I mean, the story obviously is almost the same one where like a death does bring everyone together and Beetlejuice is reintroduced, but there are so many different villains in this one compared to the first one.
Yeah.
Where there's like, where Beetlejuice would be like the third or fourth villain, if he would even be considered a villain, because he
villain,
does like
yeah.
so much. He does actually do some good things in the sequel.
I think more.
Yeah.
I think more than not, there were a couple of villains, but none of them were actually doing anything terribly bad. Like we didn't really
Right.
see, but they didn't dive into the villains as much.
No.
And you know, truthfully, the first one is kind of like it has like a Top Gun treatment where there's not like a whole lot that actually happens. You know,
Sure.
the first one is kind of like there's really not a whole lot of plot to this movie, and I feel like this one there was a little bit more story
Right.
involved.
They try to build a lot more.
But at the end of the day, I think it kind of fell in that same category, that same box where it was like, you know, we have a lot going on and we just kind of wrapped it up, you know?
Yeah. There were some,
Yeah.
Like, all right, you guys enjoy that? What happened?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it felt. You know?
there were some plot points that they like introduced really subtly and like really build into, but they just kind of like dropped off at the end. Like I won't go into spoilers right now, but there's like a villain boy, there's a villain chick, there's like a fiance that end up evil or just like a bad person, and it's just like there's so many little spots. And like the first one we kind of focused on Beetlejuice being like this bad guy, and now he's like this anti-hero that like still has weird intentions, but like also does good things now. And like
There was a lot more singing in this one.
a lot more sin.
There is.
A lot more
There's actually a
singing.
pretty good sequence.
It's actually
But-
really
but-
Is it
but-
borderline musical at this
Very,
point?
yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, but it's the
Borderline
same song. Yeah.
No, that's not true.
No, it's a different
It's different songs.
Yeah, it's a
But
different-
there's a
But
couple
there's
parts.
one sequence that's and it's so creative the way they did it.
Yeah?
It's so creative, yeah. I thought it was like one of the most original sequences that I've seen in a
Is there anything you'd say without like spoilers?
it involves cake and a wedding, and everybody's singing. It's not just one person, but everybody's singing,
Well,
but not their voices.
yeah, it's like it's the scene.
Yeah.
Imagine. Okay, remember the first Beetlejuice when they're in.
She sings Banana.
And yeah, when they're sitting at the table and like Beetlejuice is talking for them, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's kind of like that, but set in a different setting.
And
Yeah.
singing, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
But it's not even Beetlejuice's voice though.
No, it's not Beetlejuice's voice. Well,
It's-
it's not Beetlejuice's
it's
voice,
not.
but it may be Beetlejuice.
It's Beetlejuice possessing everybody, but it's
Right.
not his. He's changing his own voice.
right. His own.
It's like
falsetto-
the
falsetto.
end. It's like the end of the first one where she's dancing to like No Banana over the
When she floats up.
No Banana, you know, and they are like all possessing.
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
Okay,
There's a
well,
couple
that
of
sounds fun.
callbacks which I thought were good, but at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I don't think it was very fan service. You know, I don't think there was a whole lot of pandering.
They really built on the first one. I mean, there was a lot of like, you know, like the shrunken head was only in the first one for like maybe like less than 30 seconds, and now in the second one, it's like
a main
huge.
character.
It's like a main character, and like the whole shrunken head is like a huge thing in the second one. They don't even show the little guy that sprinkled, you know, like the witch doctor. They didn't even
Yeah.
show that guy.
I think what's so funny about that is that that was just such a funny push off of because that's how Beetlejuice
The first
kind
one
of
ends.
died in the first one.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they weren't gonna make a sequel,
Yeah.
but then they just kind of were like, oh, it's actually Bob.
Yeah.
He's actually still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. As a Beetlejuice fan, I think Beetlejuice is probably my favorite Tim Burton movie, the original one. I'm a big advocate of it, but this one, I don't know. I really liked it. Everything you were just saying, I'm like agreeing with. But I also, if you kind of strip it down to like a beginning, middle, end, it's exactly the same beginning, middle, end.
It didn't need a sequel.
Sure.
That's what it was.
Exactly.
You know, they gave us a
Exactly.
sequel that we
And
didn't need, and I think they did the best of the best that they could have
Yeah.
done.
and there
Yeah.
are so many like aspects too, like little things they added that they really didn't need to add, but like it worked out. Like the whole William Dafoe character, like
Yes.
his character
That
did
was
not
actually pretty
need to be in it whatsoever. Didn't affect the story whatsoever. But like it's such a funny add-on, and like his like partner feeding him coffee, like so funny. Like it's like I love like little like one-liners he had when practicing. And
You're an actor.
You're an actor.
You're right.
Yeah, the William Dafoe stuff was fun.
Willem Dafoe's character in the movie is an actor who died, but now he's a cop. But he played a cop as an actor,
He's an actor detective.
so he's like an actor detective.
Yeah.
But now he's actually a cop in the afterlife, but he still treats it like an actor,
I do
like a role.
It's like I'm not a cop, but I played one on TV.
Yeah, he treats it like a
Exactly.
role.
But I can always be like him, like with coffee, and be like, I can't believe I became a detective.
Yeah.
And the secretary will come and be like, you're not a detective, you're an actor. He's like, you're right.
God, he crushes the coffee. Yeah.
No, it was fun.
He's always looking at himself in the mirror, running his lines, like how he's gonna do it. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
And Justin Theroux also was like too funny.
Justin Theroux is one of those guys who is, you never think of him. You're never saying, man, Justin Theroux's in this movie, I'm gonna go see this movie. But that dude never lets you down. Every single thing he's in, he is. I think he was the best part of that movie.
The man bun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, but he was wild.
Yeah, he was a wild character. And then obviously Jenna Ortega.
Honestly,
it makes sense. Yeah, but it makes sense. He's gonna be Tim Burton.
Honestly, I did not do Jenna Ortega. I thought was gonna be the main character, but I thought it was gonna. It was Winona Ryder though.
Yeah,
Winona Ryder. I really did think it was gonna be Jenna Ortega because Wednesday's huge and she's huge, and I really did think that she was gonna take the reins and really guide this movie. But that's not the case at all. She kind of like stepped back,
Yeah.
into like this like secondary character that I don't really ever see from her.
Yeah, she totally did.
It definitely still was Lydia being the main character. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
have you seen? I saw something that she said recently where someone asked her like, okay, being the like dark person of our generation right now going on, would you be interested in doing like a female version of Edward Scissorhands, like something like that? And she's like, no. Like, I appreciate like us trying to balance the scales here and create more opportunities for women, but we don't just need to remake everything. Like, I want to do something fresh.
Yeah,
That's what I love to see with people coming up right now.
Yeah, we have a lot of young professionals in the industry, like Chappell Roan, for instance, who is really pushing back against the kind of social norms right now, which I think they're going to be. I mean, that's how change happens,
Certainly.
And I think that we're kind of in a good period right now where it's like, okay, enough's enough, and now the people who actually are in power are actually saying, yo, enough's enough,
Yeah.
So
Do you think?
What we need.
Do you think Beetlejuice was in it more in the second one? Because Michael Keaton came out and he said, I purposely had the same, like, it technically, I think is the same screen time for the character.
Is it really from the first second one?
But it felt like he was in the second one more.
yeah,
I don't think he
That's
was.
a really big question though. The first one is obviously major rewatchability. What about this one? Are you gonna go see
I
it?
think
first one definitely has
like
way
any
better
sequel, no.
rewatchability.
And I'm not even a big
No?
Beetlejuice fan to begin with.
I'll probably watch it when it's
What?
like.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Beetlejuice.
The first one's so good.
You'll probably watch it,
I'll
Matt?
probably watch it when it comes to streaming. Like I'll probably watch it when it comes like HBO Max, whatever, in the end of the year. But I probably won't like. It's not as rewatchable as the first one. It's got like it still has a lot of like practical effects that I actually really appreciated because I thought it'd be all special effects. They did a lot of like awesome things. Like did a whole like claymation segment in this one.
Oh.
So cool.
Yeah.
I think, well, that's
Maybe
because they
find more
had to,
claymation.
because as we know, our man Ed Rooney from Ferris Bueller, who plays Winona Ryder's father in the movie, is in, I think he's in jail right now.
Yeah, I think he's a predator.
I don't know
He's
about
a,
that.
yeah, he's a predator.
He's a predator.
Oh.
So they had to creatively kind of get rid of this character, so they did like a claymation sequence with them.
Okay.
I knew there was some shade around him, which I thought was so weird too, because they put his actual face on the gravestone, which I was like,
They did.
that's so weird.
That is weird. I know. I was thinking too.
I'm
Well,
like,
you
oh,
can't,
why,
you
why would
can't
they
get rid of the character
Yeah, well,
altogether.
sure,
He
put the
played
face
the
on it.
Yeah,
character.
but why would they put the claymation and go through the trouble of not putting his
put
head
his
in the
actual
afterlife?
face.
Just put his head on the
I agree.
fucking
I agree.
headstone. I'm
Well,
like,
He's also
because
a
it's-
character.
To point to as being like that's the character.
Well, that's what I'm
If they
saying.
actually hire the guy to do more stuff, which like they can't if he's in jail.
Yeah.
But
true.
Right, it's a totally different thing. I think putting a picture in there is fine, but
They really
he has a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
His character has like a decent amount of screen time, but they just got creative ways of getting around it.
Correct.
okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
They really did linger on the headstone for a while, though.
yeah, but it was just
It's
just a picture.
Yeah, but they
Maybe
could have like
catch,
shown
like,
it.
a little thing, maybe like this guy's dead to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either way, but
All right, let's get into spoilers. So spoilers of the film. Trev, do you want to hear it or no?
Yeah.
You don't do earmuffs? You gotta do earmuffs.
Yeah, I'll hang out. I'll listen to it.
All right. Well, skip it if you haven't seen it.
yes,
watch
if you
it.
haven't seen it,
Stop
or
right
if you're
now.
interested in just seeing some spoilers.
Yeah, if you don't care about yeah.
This is just a spoiler warning for everyone listening that has not seen it. Stop now. But this movie has three villains. Beetlejuice's ex-wife, this boy that you don't think is weird right off the bat. You know something's up
Oh, I knew he was dead right away.
You knew he was dead right away?
I literally leaned over to Tim. I said, "This guy's dead."
I thought he was
He said it like 3 times.
I thought it was-
I was like, yeah, I know.
I thought it
Right
was
away.
Beetlejuice. I thought it was Beetlejuice.
No, I knew he was dead right away. And I knew that he was going to have some issue. The telltale was they introduced this character and they introduced his parents right away, but you don't see their
See
faces.
Yeah, I thought they were Beetlejuice too.
No, I was like, this
I
dude,
can- I
this
can
dude
see him
fucking
being
killed his
Beetlejuice.
parents,
Beetlejuice,
and he's dead.
There's no way you knew he killed.
I knew it. I
No
knew
way,
it,
dude.
I knew it.
Listen,
as this movie as fun as it was so kind of like there was so many things that were just like, man, I saw that one coming.
See, but
It's so like just kind of like, man, it's right on the nose, you know. But then there were a couple things that were like, this is creative, you know.
Cool
But also,
surprises?
Yeah.
I don't think there were any big reveals in the movie.
Not a
They were
single
all
one.
like, it was like, even when we find out he was a big.
the I guess the husband, you guys, the actor, I did not think he was gonna take advantage of
Yeah.
Winona.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That-
the truth serum.
I
yeah.
guess
That's
that
not a
was
big
kind
reveal.
of a big
That's not
reveal,
a big
but
reveal.
like,
That was the
I was
biggest
never
reveal.
like, yeah, exactly. I was never like, what?
Yeah.
Like, even when they like he killed his parents and stuff, he was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did that. Yeah, I know. It's like, oh,
But
okay.
but even that though, the first Beetlejuice didn't have any of that though.
yeah,
True.
Yeah, but that was like a first movie. That
Right.
was the whole
Right.
world was the big reveal.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, Beetlejuice definitely takes passenger seat in being the villain of this movie because his ex-wife, this boy, the boyfriend, the slash husband, are all these kind of like pinnacles of like trying to bring the main characters down. And Beetlejuice does help them. Like he does promise to like he actually gets Jenna Ortega out of the afterlife just so he can marry Winona Ryder still. Like he still is in love with her and like wants her so bad, and he has her high school picture up on his desk, and it's so creepy that he looks at this 16-year-old every day and is like, I'm waiting for her. And I guess
He's dead. He's dead. When you die, there's no age.
yeah, I guess he is over 600 years old, and age is just a thing. But at the same time, it's like, he also killed the boy too. Like this boy that was trying to.
He sent him to hell. He didn't kill him.
Well,
He's already dead.
Is there a big difference though?
no, they introduce this whole new idea of dead, where like Beetlejuice's ex-wife is a soul sucker, and so when you die, you still have your soul, and you're still in this realm. But when she kills you, she literally sucks your soul, and you just literally just go to hell. And like they show hell. They literally show hell. And it's like it reminded me of the SpongeBob or the scene where Squidward falls for eternity in the Flying Dutchman ship.
Yeah.
When he's just falling forever. Literally Beetlejuice so this boy swaps his soul for Jenna Ortega's soul so he can come back into the real world after killing, his parents, and Jenna Ortega almost, gets sent to the great beyond, where I guess you can't come back from. They don't really.
It's heaven.
It's heaven.
No, the pearly gates is heaven.
Yeah.
The great beyond is like nothingness. I think.
Right.
Purgatory?
I think
Purgatory is a
right
waiting
now-
room.
The
I
waiting
think-
room,
Yeah,
yeah.
the waiting room is
okay.
purgatory.
So they introduce a couple different stops at the station. They don't really like elaborate on.
Yeah.
But either way, Beetlejuice does save Jenna Ortega, and when this boy does think that he swaps his soul and like his passport stamped, it says like "Gotcha, asshole" or something like that. And Beetlejuice pulls a lever, and the boy just falls right down.
Ow.
And you see him falling like Squidward does in like the abyss, and there's flames everywhere. I like literally LOL'd at that point. I'm
It was
like,
just It was just like cool setups and fun setups, and then just takes the just like there's no result.
Right.
Okay, there was like 45 minutes to set up for that.
just for him to go to hell.
Yeah, and it wasn't, and it wasn't even like it wasn't even like you were like, oh my goodness, there's a clock that we need to beat,
Yeah.
because there was like a hypothetical clock that we need to beat it before he gets his passport stamped, and their souls actually swap, but
time moves all differently.
but
anyway,
they were
down there.
literally there was like a good 30 minutes between when he swapped souls to like when he actually goes to get his passport stamped.
Correct.
I
You
don't know what he
know,
was doing on there. But
like what are you doing?
I don't know. And they also
just had to go to the bathroom.
It was a lot of
Yeah, maybe.
that's a convenient timing.
Right.
He showed up at this point. Yeah.
and the whole thing with like the ex-wife too. Like they introduced her.
They set her up
They
like
set her up so well.
like
and
she
then-
was gonna be a big villain.
huge. And at the end, she just kind of like faded off.
Yeah. She just literally just like,
Nothing.
all right, gone.
I'll tell you what. They also introduce Justin Theroux is a bad guy, and then 2 minutes later kill him off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
For being a bad guy.
Actually, they got killed off at the same time.
Yeah.
They got eaten by a sandworm.
Yeah, they both got eaten by a sandworm.
The end of the movie is literally Beetlejuice in a red suit, Lydia in a red dress, and a wedding cake.
It's the same ending. It's the same ending as the first one, but instead of Beetlejuice getting ate, the bad guys get ate, and Beetlejuice like just goes off and like, well, see ya.
Yeah. Literally. He just dips out.
Well, yeah, it was the whole reason.
Oh, his contract burns out.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
the whole reason he
That's
even,
also a cop out.
the other whole reason he even was gonna help to begin with
Right, is to marry.
was because Winona Ryder's character Lydia said, "Fine, I'll marry you," and
save-
signed a contract to save her daughter.
Oh, okay.
And at the very end, Jenna Ortega's character is like,
Well,
no, I read it. I read the book. It's actually null and void. And there's like, poof, and he's like, well, I'm out of here. Like that type of thing. Like,
He was like, all right, we got to get married now.
Yeah,
And
I
she's
know.
Like, no, actually, I read it, and yeah.
It's
like,
null and void, yeah.
Yeah, and just gone. That's it. And you're like,
you can't bring people. Actually, you can't bring people to the afterlife.
fast.
Real life people to the afterlife. And it was like, the contract's null and void. So it was like it did seem like a lot of cop out stuff. And to be honest with you, I think that Tim Burton is kind of in the same boat as Wes Anderson, where he's just kind of like it's like Wes Anderson has been getting more Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Tim Burton is like more Tim Burton.
Yeah.
There's like a
he's
stereotype
But
of
there
Tim
were-
Burton now.
There were a lot of
stereotyping himself.
the Saturn worm was still CGI. Like there was still a lot of fun things.
Yeah.
And as much as people like we were just trashing on it so much, I think you should see it still.
It was a fun
still
movie.
fun.
it is really fun, and if you really do like Beetlejuice,
Yeah,
this is like a great installment. 30 years after the first one, like you really can't ask for more. 30 years later, Michael Keaton, is 30 years older, and like they got almost everyone they could, and they kind of made like an Alec Baldwin kind of joke. Like,
Yeah, they did kind of actually.
with the
Willem Dafoe's character
Mm-hmm.
dies because he jumped in a movie. He jumped on a live grenade, but didn't realize it was a live grenade.
Oh.
and he's like, oh, I didn't know it was a real one, and I'm like, oh shit, they're digging at Alec Baldwin,
That
right?
sounds distasteful because he's going through a lot.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Hard.
I think one of the big problems I have with this movie, not problems, but big reasons I like the first one so much more, is I love Alec Baldwin's character and Barbara.
Yeah,
Like
we just said it.
We just
Gina
said it,
Rowlands.
yeah.
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis, yes.
Davis,
But they were the main part I liked of the first movie. But,
What's she up to? Why can't they get Gina Davis?
She's still alive.
She's still alive and she looks great.
She was in that new Zoe Kravitz and
Blink twice?
Blink Twice. She's in Blink Twice.
Was she?
Yeah.
So I don't know
probably
what
filming that.
I don't know what you.
She might have been. She might have been in her scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, true.
But they can't. It's not like they can get Alec Baldwin back.
No,
either, though, so there was no point.
Could.
There's no point in getting
Well,
her back.
I'm seeing Rust day one.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm seeing Rust day one.
But
They're gonna make some money off that.
all in all, does it get the stamp of approval? The Pink Moon stamp of approval? I don't know if it does.
I'll give it a 3.5 star. Out of 5?
I give it a 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. That passes.
I'm not stamping this one.
No stamp.
I liked the movie. It was
I'm
fun, but
stamping
I'm
it.
not stamping
I'm
it.
stamping it.
Okay.
I'd stamp it just for my own Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's a fun Beetlejuice. If you're a Beetlejuice fan, and like Michael Keaton really just is Beetlejuice. Like he really just dives deep into that character.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Beetlejuice. So maybe the third one will be all
I mean,
three.
they set it up for a third
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I mean, of course they're going to do another.
Right.
course they are.
If Michael Keaton is alive in another 30 years, maybe we would get a third one.
Yeah.
Alrighty. The new grub this week. We have 3 new foods to try. You guys believe that?
2 of them are drinks.
2 of them are drinks. We have 2 liquid
And none of them
drinks.
are chips.
And none of them are chips. Yeah.
Actually, this might be the first week without chips. Yeah. This is our first week though with gelato.
Yeah, it's
The
exciting.
Baja Blast
Okay.
gelato came out. Oh, it's all frozen together.
Which I had thought we had tried before, but that was actually the Baja Blast pie.
No, that doesn't come
No,
out
that hasn't come out either.
Oh, that hasn't. But I thought somebody got like a sample of it. It was like a test release in Chicago. I thought you got it, Matt, one time. You definitely got it. We tried
The
it.
pie? No, I never got the pie. I
I
got.
don't remember.
We tried the Baja pie.
There was something that came out with Baja
There was
Blast
something
flavor.
that they did a limited run in Chicago as like a test
test.
run, and you got it and brought it over to our place in Chicago
wasn't
before we
the pie.
moved here. And it was the pie.
No, it was not the
No.
pie.
I tried the
lie.
pie.
It was not
No,
the
it
pie.
definitely wasn't pie.
What was it, the Cantina stuff?
Was it the Cantina stuff?
It was-
It might have been
No,
It
it was a green. It was a green slice of Baja pie. I'm telling you guys.
Dude, you're lying.
I
We're all like, no.
Whatever. I'm telling you guys, it was the pie.
it is coming out this
Mixed
year.
up with the key lime pie that I love.
No.
Key lime pie.
It was Kieran.
You guys are
It's
crazy.
key lime
I'm
pie.
telling you, it was the pie.
They
I have
had-
a memory like a steel trap.
Last year they
I
had.
don't know.
Yeah, it's the chip that's rusted through.
All I can think is
Hinges.
that last year they had strawberry.
It was green. It looked like Baja Blast. I'm telling
I
you.
would remember these.
No.
Why do I have
I
such a vivid memory of sitting in my kitchen trying this pie?
I think you're delusional.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that's
you might have let something go moldy.
What was it like a Key? Was it like a Key West pie or something?
No, I'm telling you, it was the Baja
Dude, unless you
pie.
went out organically and
got
bought
a-
that, none of us know what you're talking
This is
about.
like a future memory you have.
I'm telling you, this guy would have probably known
I
if
would
it
know.
came out.
No, nothing came out last year like that. Either way, so we have the Mountain Dew Baja Blast Gelato that you can only get through the app. I have saved it in my freezer the last 3-4 days, and I've been wanting to try it so bad. The other two items are the Beetlejuice Fanta Haunted Apple.
And they missed out on a marketing stunt there.
Yeah, so they didn't actually call it Beetlejuice, did
They
they?
should have
No,
called
they
it
could just call it
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. But no, it's Haunted Apple. What is that?
What are they doing?
What are they doing? What's the
Nothing.
PR
Who's in
team?
charge of this?
I know.
Seriously.
The same people who developed Sonic.
Exactly.
They hired them. You guys did a
yeah.
great job on Sonic. I think we need you over here.
I think we need you on the Fanta Apple. And the third and last is the Oreo Coca-Cola. Not the Oreos themselves, but it's the Coca-Cola that tastes like Oreos.
Yeah, Target really came in clutch on us. They don't care about release dates,
No,
and they just decided to put it on the shelves early.
Yeah, they don't care about the
Love
big lettering or words that say don't put on the shelves till 9/9/24.
Yep. The Oreos, however, were not on the shelves. But this is not even on the app. I was just walking down a Target aisle and I saw it on an end cap, and I said, "What?
Yeah.
This doesn't come out till
Wait,
the
it's
9."
Josh comes back from the store this morning and he's like, it came out before. There's like 5 of them. Puts them all in.
I literally looked it up on the app to see
you
on the
call it?
Target app to say, "Oh, I found the Oreo Coca-Cola. Can I find the Oreo,
Oreos.
Oreo
Yeah.
Coca-Cola Oreos on there?" Not on the app. So then I looked up the Oreo Coca-Cola, not on the app. So it's not supposed to be there. Target just
Stalker
doesn't.
messed up.
Target just doesn't care. Yeah, somebody
Thank you
messed some
so
The new
much,
guy.
LA
some high
Target
school
employees.
kid. Yeah, some high school kid said, "What?
They got-
Coca-Cola? Just put it on the shelf."
Yeah,
man."
they got it in early.
You know?
Yeah, they thought it was a Coke Zero.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's crack these puppies open. The Haunted Apple we'll do first. We just talked about Beetlejuice. Doesn't really have much of a smell. Everyone gets their own little cup.
We're taking shots of
Yeah,
Beetlejuice.
Not Beetlejuice.
I'm calling it
I'm calling it.
Beetlejuice.
I'm
Yeah.
calling it.
Beetlejuice.
I'm calling it Beetlejuice.
It really should just be Beetlejuice. I don't know why they said Haunted Apple. Doesn't have much smell to it.
Yeah, it's got a little. I can't place that smell. It's kind of different. It's
It
weird.
is a interesting.
Smells like
smell.
Fireball.
It really smells like alcohol. I thought
Yeah.
I thought it would smell like
Fireball, yeah.
It's
actual
like
apple.
Fireball and cough syrup.
Yeah, it's
It's kind of
lean.
like a cinnamon apple candy.
It does smell like cinnamon.
Smells
doesn't
like
it?
lean.
Cinnamon apple thing.
All right, let's take a sniff, boys.
That's potent. Tastes like a caramel
Tastes
apple.
like Fireball.
That tastes
Tastes like
Halloween.
Fireball.
Not without alcohol.
Yeah.
Halloween. A caramel apple,
Halloween.
It
exactly.
tastes like a
Yeah.
caramel apple.
A caramel apple.
Actually, not bad.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd drink a full one, but it was a good
No,
shot.
It's very powerful. It tastes just like caramel, really.
Yeah, it does. It tastes a
Really,
lot
really,
like the
actually.
caramel. Definitely is potent.
I
and
really-
This is something to take real shots with.
I thought
Yeah.
it was gonna be like sour apple, like haunted apple. But
Yeah,
no.
that was not what I was expecting.
it'd be a good chaser,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
but drinking a whole one, I don't know if I could do it.
I'll take caramel apple.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, like
I
a
don't
caramel
think I
apple
could do it.
sucker, not a
It's also
caramel
like
sucker,
yeah,
right,
exactly.
That's what it is.
See,
Yeah.
they
It's a
melted it
sucker.
down. Yeah.
They just
It
got
tastes
8
like
of
a
those and melted
cornucopia.
them.
Melted down.
Wow, that was strong.
Yeah, it was. It was
Thanks for that Beetlejuice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
pungent.
that's just Beetlejuice's piss right there. Oh,
Beetlejuice's juices.
you bottle that up.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to try the gelato or the Oreo Coke?
I'll see the Gelato for last.
Let's try the Coke next.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We're on the drinks.
So obviously, I don't think is Oreo owned by Coca-Cola.
They're all owned
I
by
think
the
they
same
are. I think,
companies,
yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty
obviously,
sure.
it's either Coca-Cola or PepsiCo, but Oreo must be owned by Coca-Cola.
They wouldn't do a collab against
Well,
Yeah, against.
if you look into it, they're all owned by the cigarette companies. So at the end of the day, yeah, you didn't know that? All of the junk food companies are owned by the cigarette companies,
you're right.
and they use the exact same marketing tactics they used in the 50s to sell cigarettes. And that's why they're all addictive. That's why we're all addicted to these junk foods, is because they're throwing addictive substances in there.
Because nicotine is in your cookies.
So that's about the thing where Celsius was supposed to have like.
That's not real. I looked into that one. I saw that one and I did a lot of research because I said I drink Celsius. What?
Yeah.
Did a lot of research. That's not real. But
Does it smell like Oreos?
It smells like chocolate cola.
It smells like Coke.
Yeah, it smells like a Coke.
I'm really hoping it's chocolate Coke.
It is a chocolate Coke.
It is a chocolate Coke.
Yeah, with like a hint of cream.
Throw some cream in
Would you
it.
like a little bit of cream in there with the chocolate?
That's
Coke?
I have
good.
very, very fond memories of going to a Steak and Shake and saying, "Can I get a chocolate Coke?"
Yeah.
My friends thought I was insane when I ordered that,
Well,
and I said it's an old '50s, fashion soda.
Yeah, I had no idea that was a thing until like you guys started talking about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, if you just go to a Steak and Shake or any
Big
kind
Boy.
of any diner really, and you
Yeah.
just say, "Hey, can I get a Coke with a chocolate Coke?" They're gonna say, "What are you talking about?" And you just say, "Just give me a Coke with like 3 shots of or 3 pumps of chocolate syrup in it,"
Yeah.
and it's so good.
Yeah. I can see why people don't like it, but it is good.
Yeah, man, it's a acquired taste.
That's good. That's much better than
That is good.
Beetlejuice.
That's much better than Beetlejuice. You're right.
Yeah.
Now the Beetlejuice was wildly tastes like caramel. I did not expect that at all.
I wonder if they're gonna do a non-zero sugar version, like just a classic.
Is that a 0 sugar?
Zero.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is
So the
a 0
Coke
sugar
Oreo,
version.
the Oreo flavored, Oreo flavored Coke is 0 sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention that.
Interesting. I wonder if they
zero
would.
sugar all the time now, or yeah.
I need to
That's
find
also a
the
marketing
Oreos now.
ploy. There's sugar in that. It's just not real sugar.
True.
It's just cigarette company sugar.
I need to dunk. I need
sugar
I need to dunk the Coke flavored Oreos into the Oreo flavored Coke.
I bet you that'd be good.
Wild.
I think the
They're crazy
Coca-Cola
good. I think it'd
Oreos are
break,
gonna have little
break something.
pop rocks in them to give it that carbonation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would totally make sense.
Yeah.
Little pop rocks. All right, where's your little cups? I'll put the gelato in the cup.
Oh, a gelato in a cup.
Mountain Dew Baja Blast Gelato. So this was teased last year, and it is now in the app for $3 at every Taco Bell. But every Taco Bell only gets like 200.
I'll tell you what, you're definitely not getting your $3 worth. It's a very small
It's
container.
so
It's
small.
tiny.
It's
Yeah.
like it's maybe the size of like 2 K-cups, and that's it.
It's probably a 4-ouncer, maybe a 3-ouncer.
Yeah. I'd say.
It's 3.6.
Yeah.
3.6.
Yeah.
You can fly with it legally.
You can fly with it legally. It does come with a little spoon under the lid.
Oh yeah, that's
A
cool.
little spoon. I will serve everyone a little
Yeah, 'cause if you use a
gelato.
normal size spoon, you would not need the actual
You
container.
would just need. It's literally one
You would just
spoonful.
need
Yeah.
Throw it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Give me the baby spoon.
Yep. You could just shoot that. That's actually bigger than my.
Oh, look at
that's,
that color.
that's smaller than my shot glass.
Look at that.
Oh, and it's really halfway full.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that is vibrant.
No, it's melted a little
Oh,
bit.
okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But the color is insane.
Yeah.
The color, it looks like someone threw up Baja Blast.
I'll tell you what, yeah.
That's probably how I'm gonna feel after I eat this.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be delicious.
I told you that's about to be really green too.
Listen, I love Taco Bell. That's like the only fast food that I still eat, but it is not the best fast food.
It looks like Play-Doh, dude.
Oh no, it is
All
great
taco-
F, but I love it.
All Taco
which
Bell.
is it?
All Taco Bell is vomit.
All Taco Bell is vomit. You know what? That may be true, but
But
I'll
it's still
do
eat
it.
But I
I'll
still
never
eat
not
it.
be a
It's
Baja
the one that I
Blast fan.
can't give up.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
also feel a lot less like bad eating it since I started eating the like potato soft tacos.
Yeah.
since
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
it's
the
yeah,
best thing on the
at
menu,
least you
man.
can feel better eating it
Yeah.
because it'd be like chicken tacos.
Well, for a
Yeah,
while,
yeah,
for
yeah.
for a couple, maybe 5 years ago, Taco Bell was actually the healthiest fast food.
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Though
I don't know if
have
it
a
still
major
stands.
Never got
gripe with
chicken
them
in.
in that their Chipotle sauce is amazing on those spicy tacos.
Yeah.
But if you go to the store and try to get their Chipotle sauce, it's way different.
Really?
Really?
Totally different.
Really?
It's
Sick.
trash.
Bastards.
Yeah, terrible.
All right, almost done serving the Baja Blast Gelato. There we go. And your cups, boys.
All right, let's try it.
Let's see it.
Right.
It does smell a little bit like Baja.
I'll say that Taco Bell is not really my first choice for ice cream.
Right.
It's gelato.
Well, it's not my first choice for gelato. I don't think. Maybe they should leave the Italian delicacies to the Italian.
Tell you what, next week I'll make my own gelato.
You know, obviously this is not the best, but it does taste like Baja Blast, and it's a little refreshing.
Yeah.
No.
I would opt for a Baja Blast over it.
Yeah, me
Save
too.
your
I'd rather
$3.
just go Freezy and
Me
Yeah.
too.
I'm gonna try and make that in the Ninja Creamy.
Mm-hmm.
Do my own. You can just
Yeah.
boil up some Baja Blast. And
That's
just
right.
extract
You
it.
could just make it
Yeah.
yourself. Let's do
Make
it.
I don't know with peanut
Let's
butter
do
and
it.
jelly.
All right, next week we'll come
gelato.
back with our own
Yeah.
Pink Moose Baja Blast gelato, and we're going to tell you that it's much better.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, no, the flavor really isn't, you know, too overpowering, but it's not like, you know, nothing to write home about.
Yeah, I was really
Hoping.
I was really hoping for more. That one was highly anticipated
Yeah.
for a year.
So far, the best is that Oreo Coke.
The Oreo Coke was really
Yeah.
good.
that was fire.
Yeah. Or those sweet chili Takis.
Yeah, those were good.
But no,
Or the Tutti Frutti Lays.
Tutti Frutti. Yeah, the
It's
Tutti
so
Frutti.
good.
Well, like I said, next week we'll come back with our own Pink Moose gelato. It's going to be Baja Blast flavor. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be much better, and it'll be available on our store for purchase for $2.
For $2. $8
Put
shipping.
on the
Yeah,
ball,
yeah.
let's go.
It'll be 5 ounces. Yeah.
Yeah, and it will be 5 ounces. Yeah, homemade, handcrafted by Tim.
Take that. Yeah, take that, Taco Bell.
Take that, Taco Bell. Yeah.
Free shipping.
No ad. So funny.
So that's the new
Hell yeah.
foods. Hell yeah.
Delicious. Next week we'll have some more.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Solo missions, gentlemen. What have you been watching? What have you been reading? Tim?
Trev and I started Only Murders in the Building season 4. We watched the first
Yeah.
episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
And you've seen all the
Yeah.
seasons up until?
Oh,
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, we decided to jump it on 4.
I've never seen it.
They looked good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that
heard-
was
I heard
fresh,
good
right?
things.
No, they're
I'm gonna
awesome.
spend my time in the past.
I heard good things.
Yeah, no, they're so good. I love Steve Martin. I love Martin Short. I love Selena Gomez, and I love all the supporting cast. And I like that they bring in
Yeah.
new, good characters.
It's fresh.
It is fresh.
guest
Even though
actors.
it's the 4th season, it's
Yeah.
still fresh.
I can't believe that they're still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the show, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, right up
But
episode
they're at
1, it
season
gets
4.
super meta, and I love it because
Yeah.
that's really the only way they can go about
That they
doing
can
this.
go about it. Which actually, I actually just heard that I think it got renewed for 2 more seasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is so wild.
So.
I love Steve Martin, so like I probably will
I'm down.
watch it eventually.
Well, that's the best part about the show is not
see
only the cast of the 3 dynamic. Obviously, we know that Steve Martin and Martin Short have a great dynamic together, but adding the dryness of Selena Gomez to it,
Yeah.
it's so good. On top of that, it's written and created by Steve Martin. He writes it, you know,
Yeah.
and that's like
Interesting.
it's like it's just so good to see that, that Steve Martin, being as old as he is still got some fresh stories.
Still
in
got
him.
it.
And I love how he kind of went off for a little bit, but now he's like super relevant again. Like in all the award shows, like being nominated for this because it's won so many awards.
I mean,
now.
it's nominated for I don't even know how many Emmys right now, but
Yeah,
I
but
think it's
it
up. I
gives
think it's
one. It's one.
I
Emmys.
think it's up to 16 Emmys right
Yeah.
now.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
Nominations.
People
I
love
should say.
it. People
Right,
love it. And I love it. It was great. And then reading wise, I'm reading the new Tom Taylor run or comic run of Nightwing. Going keep.
Is that the one where they introduced The Office?
That's the one where they introduced The Office. Yeah. So
Like
so
the series?
Yeah.
so Nightwing and
The Office is
Nightwing
officially canon in DC.
Nightwing and Batgirl, they run through an office building while they're getting chased, and
It's the office.
It's Dunder
and
Mifflin.
Dwight gets up and says like, "Oh, we're like,"
Yeah,
and then
I think-
then Jim turns around. And
Jim
it's
says-
just for like one panel. But
Yeah, and I think Jim turns around and says, "I'll get somebody to fix that."
yeah, I guess I'm gonna fix that or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so-
now and but they're all in there. I mean, Kevin's in it. Toby's
Yeah.
in it. Yeah, they're all in the frame in this.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
Michael's in it even.
Michael's. Yeah, they're all in the panel.
How much do they like run through scenes in it?
No, it's just
No,
literally
it's
one
or two-
panel, they're on the
one or two
background.
It's
panels.
literally Nightwing and Batgirl are they're chasing somebody and they crash through a window of an office building and it just so happens to be Dunder Mifflin.
And they just keep going.
So as they're running
That's insane.
through,
So the
Yeah.
panelists probably were like, "Oh, just make the panel fun." You know, it was like one panel. This run.
I love it.
yeah,
It's so
so
funny.
The Office is officially
canon.
canon in
That's
the DC.
preposterous.
But this run is
James Gunn, make it happen.
this run is definitely probably in everyone's opinion Nightwing's best run besides the '90s run with Chuck Dixon writing. But everyone loves this. Everyone thinks that he's going to be the new like leader of the DC
Comic.
universe going forward. Like everyone loves this comic a lot.
What do you like? Do you like the costume?
Yeah.
Nightwing's costume?
Yeah.
What year is this one?
What you mean?
Like, when did it come out?
It's
right-
totally
it's
coming
out
out.
right
it's
now.
coming out now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
coming out
24.
right
Okay.
Yeah.
It just started the beginning of this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
But Nightwing's like really making a name for himself out of nowhere.
Yeah,
in the
he
DC
is.
universe, like big name. And then I'm also reading Frank Miller's Daredevil.
Yeah, which is actually
Miller's Daredevil.
Which is great.
actually Frank Miller's first go
Yeah,
at a character.
Yeah. It was really funny actually because at first he was just illustrating, and then you can tell that's the first one he started writing. Because I went back and looked, but I knew because the first comic issue that he wrote of Daredevil, it starts out with Bullseye getting cancer and having a tumor and dying from like a brain tumor.
It's so dark.
I was like, wait, like that,
But
that was off
anything
brand.
Frank Miller touches is drastically changes the character
And we
for
do.
all of their character, for going forward.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
That's
It makes
cool.
him darker, makes him
and
What we know
those
today.
are things that are taken that everybody else takes and puts into their character, going forward. So that's cool.
But yeah. So I'm reading those two things right now, and then honestly I think that is the only thing I'm watching on my own right now that's new. Yeah, I think that's honestly it.
I haven't started Only Murders yet, but I am currently watching Rings of Power season 2, which I'm a fan of. I'm a really big fan of. I know it's got a lot of controversy around it, but
Oh yeah.
that's gonna be something you're gonna run into when you're running into a fan base that's based off of lore.
Here's the thing,
Certainly.
you're never gonna be able to please everyone.
No, and I think one thing that
In this
people
case, not gonna be able to please anybody.
anyway, well, except for me, that gets the blue stamp of approval. But I think that everything that people say about the show is totally warranted. I understand why they're saying it. I just don't agree with it. And one thing I think that people forget to kind of keep in mind is, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is just, the movies are just so good, and everybody loves them. The Hobbits, most people love them, There's some people that didn't like those as well. But those are based off of actual finished works.
Yeah.
Everything else that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote is just like annexes and bits and pieces of this and that. It's not an actual story. So the Rings of Power is not actually based off of an actual story per se. So you got to kind of do a little bit of grunt work in figuring out what's going on. Even though there's so much to pull from in the lore and the history of Middle Earth, you only got you still got to kind of piece the story together to tell a narrative, because the rest of his works read like the Bible,
Yeah.
It's like
They really
like the Old Testament Bible,
It is huge.
Yeah,
Like
it's
if you ever pick up a copy where
Yeah.
it's got all 3 books put together,
Well, that's how it was.
intended to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
It's
Bible.
massive.
But this is based mainly off of the fall of Numenor and the Silmarillion.
I was gonna say you finished the third, or I guess the end of the Lord of the Rings books, and you think you're hot on it. And
Yeah.
You jump into the Fall of Numenor, and you're like,
Oh,
I don't know.
It's like there's like pages of these books
Yeah.
where it's just like
Textbook.
this person, son of this person, son of this person,
You're just like,
son
you're
of
like,
this
uh,
person, Yeah.
Thorfinn.
Yeah, you get into the line of Durin, and they're all named Durin, and it's Durin, son of Durin, son of Durin.
During the 8th.
So
It's definitely like a loading.
Yeah.
In your
So-
brain.
so-
when he was writing, you didn't realize it was gonna be so biblically related. Do you think?
Well,
as
he-
he started writing,
yeah.
he threw that in. It's just like kind of
No,
like
he
a comical
he
book
talks about that
throwback.
actually. There's a couple of interviews that you can find where he talks about that, where he said that as he started writing it, he had no intention of making it any sort of context to religious work,
Yeah.
being the Bible. But as he started going, he started seeing a through line, and then he started to actually lean into it a little
started
bit
becoming
more.
Professor C.S. Lewis.
He actually is the one who converted C.S. Lewis, so he was a Christian first. C.S. Lewis wasn't even a Christian.
No.
But that being said, I think it's great. I'm really into it. The first season really took place in it takes place where it's the rise of Sauron creating the rings, forging the rings.
That's such a cool concept.
Which it is. It takes place in the Second Age, so it takes place about 5,000 years approximately prior to the events of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. That's a massive.
Yeah, it's a massive. It's part of the second age. Yeah, when we leave them in the Lord of the Rings, we enter the fourth age, which would be
Our age.
the
We're in
age.
fourth age.
Yeah, which is the age of man,
I
I
know.
believe, if I'm not mistaken. But don't quote me on that, constant listener. But But that being said, I think that it's a very great concept. I think they're doing it really well, and truthfully, it's just content. We just want I think a Lord of the Rings fan just wants Lord of the Rings content at this point.
Yeah, it's been so long, and we want to live
Yeah.
in that world, and you can only watch it so many times. We're like, I need more world, I
Yeah.
need more.
And it's not bad content, It's like there's a difference between like bad content and
Star Wars.
like Star Wars. You know what I'm saying?
The Acolyte was awesome, dude.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they give you this is not bad content. It's like it's good enough.
mid-content.
It's good enough. Yeah,
all right.
It's good enough content
It's
to
good
keep
enough,
me.
content.
You know?
I'll let it slide.
You know?
I'll take it.
all
I'll
they're
take
looking
it.
for right now is
Right.
good enough.
That's
Yeah,
and
I'll
that's
take it.
and
What's the
listen.
more to raise a
I'm
little
in.
bit? Come on.
Yeah. So it follows.
I can turn a blind eye sometimes.
It follows quite a few characters, but it follows mainly a young Galadriel and a young Elrond. And the first season is about Sauron forging the 3 Elven rings, and now the second season seems like it's setting up to be about him forging the 9 dwarf rings. So
All right.
we have some rings in power right now. Yes. But other than that, I'm reading a book called S period by a guy named V.M. Straka, but it's not actually by V.M. Straka. It was actually written. It was actually written by Doug Dorst and J.J. Abrams. And it's called S plus or S period, but it's actually the book written by V.M. Straka is called The Ship of Theseus, which is an act. What it is, it's a kind of complicated how you read this. What it is it's actually a book that was written in the 40s, fictionally,
Yeah.
but they wrote an actual book that was supposed to be written in the 40s by this guy V.M. Straka.
Yeah.
Also not real, right?
No, V.M. Straka is not real. So as you're reading it, you're reading a real work of fiction, and there's like footnotes and stuff, and it feels like it's a book from the 40s, and it looks old and so on and so forth. But the pages are completely like noted up with like handwriting, And as you start to read this, it's part of the story. You need to read this in order to understand kind of the context of the full story, because what it is V.M. Straka was the fictionalized V.M. Straka was a author who had a lot of mystery about his life. Nobody really knew who he was.
Is this not real?
Yeah, well, exactly, because he's not real. But nobody knew.
Probably.
Yeah. You know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. No, but nobody really knew who he was, and there's a lot of just conspiracy about who he actually was.
Yeah.
So a college student, this is his favorite book. He actually did his thesis on this book, and he has his own notes that he's chalked up in the margins of this book.
Yeah.
Leaves it on the bookshelf at the library, and a girl finds it, and she sees all of his notes, and she starts adding notes, and then you see that there's this relationship forged between them. So it's like you have to actually read. I should say the best way that I've found to read it is you read the entire fictionalized story first, then you go back to the beginning, and you read all of the footnotes, or I should say all of the margin notes that are handwritten are in different colors, and the handwriting is distinctive. But you go back and you read the first set of margin notes all the way to the end, and then they go back, those characters go back to the beginning, and they start writing more notes, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to solve the mystery of V.M. Straka.
So you don't want to read the margin notes in parallel with the story?
Well,
You
everybody
wanna
reads
go
it
back
differently, so it depends how you want to read it. But I've found the best way to do it is that way. So I'm actually listening to the audiobook first, which does not have any of the handwritten margin notes in it. So it's just the story, so I can get the concept of just the story. And it actually has a bunch of stuff in the back of it too. So there's like handwritten notes and like photocopies of that these fictionalized characters have pulled, and they're trying to solve the mystery. So it's it's a lot, but it's like a really, really cool concept, and it seems like it was a crazy undertaking.
Yeah, that is wild. And I remember you were first telling me about this book. You thought you were like Harry Potter finding Tom Riddle's book. You're like, oh my goodness.
Well, when I first,
genius, look at all this
I had never heard about this book before, you know, and I nobody I talked to has heard about this book, so it's a little weird that they put so much work into it and like nobody's heard about it, you know. There's definitely Reddit threads on it, but when I first found it, I was in an antique store in Chicago, and I came across this book, and I open it up, and I see all these margin hand notes, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Did I just stumble on the greatest piece?
I just stumbled on Indiana Jones.
Did I just stumble on something that was like
On Henry
crazy?
Jones.
So I go up to the guy at the counter and there's no price on it. I'm like, how much is this? And he said, I don't know, $20. And I said, oh my goodness, I'll take it. He takes it, he opens the book, and he sees all the margin notes, and he has no idea what it is either. And he said, actually, let me do a little bit of research into this.
Wait a second.
Yeah, he's like, wait, I might have undersold this one. So he even was fooled by it. But I still think it's a cool concept. I still think it's a great concept.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, I've been going through the Only Murders in the Building with Tim, but also, and I know I said I was gonna finish The Stand the last time I talked about it. On here,
Yeah.
but you gotta give me a little leeway here. It's
It's a really long book.
It's really,
It was gonna be like 30 hours in 30 days. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get, knock out my last 10 hours the next day, and then I
Trev,
didn't get a chance to listen to it.
You
And
talking about the book
Yeah.
has inspired one of our readers to pick up the book and try it again, and they're going to
So
finish
this
it
is
before.
amazing.
No, it was
Yeah. They're going to beat you to it.
Well, I got like 7 hours left. I got 3 more hours listened to the other day. But after I didn't get a chance to listen to it, I lost a lot of momentum. Like, all right, I kind of need a break. Like, my brain's starting to feel fried.
I've been there before. So is Stephen King.
So hopefully by next time I'll have it done. But besides that, I've also been finishing up The Rookie, which is, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the Nick Fury show.
Yeah, brilliant. He's such a great guy. Such a good
I
actor.
love it, yeah.
Yeah,
So
he
I got
is
like
really
a
good.
couple episodes of that left, and I'll be all caught up.
You like Castle or The Rookie better?
That's so hard. That's so different. But I love, like, if you go through and you watch all the stuff he's done, he brings characters all the way back from when he started on Firefly to Castle,
Yeah.
That's a
back
killer
into The
one.
Rookie.
That's a killer one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He's always calling up his old castmates, like, "Hey, you guys want to be on this project?"
And James Gunn's always calling him.
Yeah, and James
always calling in.
Honestly, the Firefly is probably the best of those.
Firefly is definitely his best show.
Firefly was
By far.
far
I've only
too
seen
good,
Firefly
and
for-
Sentry
Yeah,
was
it's so
too good.
The movie?
Yeah.
Serenity?
Serenity, that's what
Yeah,
it is.
Serenity.
Serenity's
Serenity
awesome
is
too. Alan
really
Tudyk's so
good.
good
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And so is
Alan Tudyk's too good in everything.
So is Alec Baldwin's brother.
I do like him.
What's his name?
Was it-
Billy?
He was the one in Chuck.
Steven?
Yeah, Chuck.
Yeah. No,
Is it
Adam.
Adam?
No, his cousin, Adam.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah.
There's so many Baldwin brothers.
There's
I'm gonna sit here and name them all. It's like the Wayans.
Yeah. Senior? Junior? Yeah.
Marlon? Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Yeah.
But one of them is good.
Cool.
Hell yeah. So I've just finished the SCU, the Sandler universe. All 57 of his movies I ranked. I finished. I realized I only had about like 12 a couple weeks ago. I was like, I can do that. And so I got through all 12 of them, and I have ranked now 1 through 57 of Adam Sandler movies.
So you didn't watch all 56 of them again. You just
No,
finished up the 12.
Right.
Okay.
Like I've seen a lot of them. I did rewatch 2 or 3 of them because I only seen them once and like barely watched. So I did rewatch like Sandy Wexler and Hotel Transylvania and
All of them?
Reign Over Me. I
You watched
rewatched all
them
those.
SCU.
The SCU.
You know, when you brought that up to me as the SCU first, I was like, what's he talking about?
The Sandler Cinematic Universe.
I was like, do people refer to that? As,
No, I made it up.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, folks. But I did watch Punch Drunk Love for the first time, and I like fell in love with that. It was so good.
Do you like PTA?
I do.
Do you like his other movies, I mean?
Licorice Pizza was a little weird.
I don't know if I like PTA, man.
I'm not a big
I don't know. Half of me
PTA
does.
fan.
Half of me does.
Boogie Nights?
I'm not fully against it. I
Like,
like Boogie Nights.
The one with Incoherent Vice, I thought was mid.
Inherent Vice?
Yeah.
Incoherent Vice,
Is it? Which
I
one
think
is
it's
it?
Inherent Vice.
It's Inherent Vice.
With Joaquin?
Oh, Inherent Vice.
Yeah, Inherent
That
Vice.
was alright.
That was a
I
slow
actually that
burn.
was one that I couldn't get through, and I thought that I was gonna really enjoy it.
That was a weird one. But I love Boogie Nights. Licorice Pizza was okay. Obviously, There Will Be Blood is
Yeah, too good.
There Will Be Blood. And you can't really put that in any other category.
I drink a milkshake.
But was that Daniel Day-Lewis, Daniel Day Legend, or was that?
No,
was
get it out
that
of here. He's not even
actually
that good.
Legend.
Do you know what that's from? Daniel Day Legend.
No, I haven't heard that before.
That's a Jeff
So
White classic.
So that's a Jeff White classic. So Tim and Trevor and I all went to the same high school, and we had the same teacher. His name was Jeff White, and he was obsessed with Daniel Day-Lewis, and he never missed an opportunity to bring him up,
Or make us watch a movie with him.
or make us watch a movie.
He
with
did
him.
a lot of period pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just so happened that he was also a history teacher.
Yeah.
So,
Insane.
but he always referred to him as Daniel Day Legend.
Dude, Trevor, I'll tell you what. I remember we weren't even talking about Abraham Lincoln. It was like a passing thing about the 1800s, and he was like, one day, like, yeah, we should probably watch a movie with Daniel Day Legend.
Yeah.
And we ended up watching the 3-hour cut
of
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Gee, 3 hours.
I was like, we're not even talking about this guy.
I think we watched Last of the Mohicans 3 times.
Oh, man.
3 times. Yeah.
It's so weird.
I will say though that growing up, I did not really understand Spanglish. I always thought it was one of his worst ones, but now as an adult, dude, it's where did I rank it? Out of 57, Spanglish is number 12.
Really?
It's really good.
No,
I
12.
like Spanglish.
It's underrated. It has such an insane like low key story too with the maid and her life and her learning English, and it was a beautiful story.
You're gonna have to go through next. You're gonna have to go through the BSCU.
BS.
Because it connects to the SCU.
Who's BS?
The Ben Stiller.
Oh, Ben
Oh,
Stiller.
yeah.
I'll go with that with you, man.
Because
Ben
if you actually think about it, he did a movie for Disney called what was the one that he was like the counselor for the fat camp?
Oh.
It was I forget what it was
I'm
called.
I know what you're talking about.
But he's
Ben
a
Stiller.
That was a
Yeah.
deep
Yeah.
memory. You're so
Yeah, hold on, listen to me. So in this movie, he is a young man whose dad is rich, and he's kind of a black sheep. And he goes and they buy a fat camp, and he's like the head of this fat camp.
Mm-hmm.
It ends up failing. So what does he do? It all ties in. I don't even know the full theory, but somehow this character ends up supposedly as the character in.
I have heard.
You've
that.
heard of this?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a
heavyweights. That's
the
it.
heavyweights.
Oh,
Heavyweights. And there's
Yes,
another movie
yeah.
in between there that also Dodgeball. So
Yeah.
what happens? So then he goes and he starts a gym, Globo Gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then that fails because Vince Vaughn and the Underdogs kick him out, you
Yeah.
know. So then he goes and becomes a nurse.
A male nurse.
A male nurse.
Male
And he's
nurse.
literally the same character in all 3 of those
He
movies.
literally, even the facial hair, right?
Yeah, even the facial hair. He's
Yeah,
literally
you're
the
right.
exact same character in all those movies.
Happy,
So
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
there is a
Yeah.
unverified link between the Ben Stiller universe and the Adam Sandler universe.
That's so weird. I never really thought about that.
Wait, yeah. A lot more is gonna hurt. You understand?
He plays that nurse in another movie.
So
too.
he does play the nurse in another movie, another Adam Sandler movie, right?
Yeah, which one is that? Oh, it's the Merowitz stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is also a really good movie.
That was really, really fun.
All right, that were your top 3.
Sandler,
Yeah.
Uncut Gems. I know you guys don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one.
But we're the hot takes.
Uncut Gems, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison.
Okay.
Those are just
The classics.
undoubtedly top 3.
Sure.
His bottom 3, 57, Ridiculous 6. 56 is Jack and Jill. 55 is Going Overboard.
Dude, Jack and Jill should be like top 10.
Oh, it's so bad. It's
The
so
Dunkachino.
bad.
No, get rid
It's
of it.
so bad.
We
The
saw the
Dunkachino.
downfall
We saw the downfall
of
of
an award-winning actor
an award-winning actor.
within 1 minute. You know,
It's-
that's a big moment.
Man, what
in
happened to
cinematic
you?
history.
You used to be cool. You
Call
used
me
to be
dumb.
respected. Yeah.
Dunk,
How did you
dunk.
end up here?
Dunkachino.
That's like
Wild.
running into like Obama on the streets and he's like begging for money. What? How did you get here?
The
You know?
Dunkachino. But I do have Little Nicky as number 7, so I don't know how much you can trust me.
No, I don't like
I love Little Nicky. I love Little Nicky. A cult classic. I probably am not in the majority on that one, but
Hey, Nikki, what's the Iceman saying? Get in your flesh. Nah, man, the Iceman's always right to the point. But check this out. Chicago. Does anybody really know what time it is? I command you in the name of Satan to spill the blood of the innocent. That's literally one of the greatest jokes ever written.
funny.
Chicago.
And they're all high on the pop brownies too.
Yeah.
Does anybody really know what time it is?
The dog is eating the brownie.
You know what, Nick?
It's really
We just reenact stuff.
I could do it, dude. I could do it.
So good. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I finished SCU, so now I'm just waiting for Happy Gilmore 2 to come out.
Did you see that with Happy Gilmore 2? They were just casting a couple weeks ago in that little town, and it was an open casting call, and the line was all the way. It was like 6 blocks long.
Oh,
Like the entire town came out to the open casting calls.
I believe it.
The entire town shut down for the open casting calls of Happy Medicine 2.
That's
Or
kind of what
whatever.
happened with
Yeah.
Man of Steel. It was filmed in the town next to me in Plano,
Yeah.
next to Yorkville. So I remember as a kid, like going.
Oh, I know.
To,
I checked it out.
Yeah, I remember going. I went to the open auditions. It was held at the Plano High School. We waited in line for like 2 hours, and we like had to get. It felt like a mugshot where you get like a photo taken from the front and the side, ask a couple questions, and we were like on our way. But it felt like, yeah, my first little taste of Hollywood.
That's crazy.
I remember that because
do too.
that's where Smallville was, but that was also where the first big fight was, right?
Yeah.
Right on there, Mancino.
Yeah.
Right around there.
The small. So we grew up. We live in LA now, but we grew up in the Chicagoland area, scattered around. But Tim and Trev and I kind of grew up in like the Northwest Indiana region, and the house that Ma and Pa Kent's house was only like 30 minutes away from us.
And then Matt was probably well, he was exactly west of us, about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
to an hour.
the house where it was actually where he like grew up in, like the little farmhouse that he was on, was in Yorkville.
Yeah.
And like I used to drive past the house all the time, not realizing it would be like the Smallville house. But afterwards, they knocked it down, and like the cemetery that like Superman was buried at was literally the cemetery in Yorkville. So like every time I drive past it on the way to work, I'm like, literally Superman's buried in Yorkville.
Yeah, that's so
weird.
crazy.
Did you buy a grave plot there?
Yeah.
But I did remember seeing a lot of like tourists come and take photos like just of like the land, because it's literally a cemetery in the middle of a cornfield. Like the trees are like so high, and it's like a little square, and there's a little cemetery in the middle, and just corn everywhere else.
Ben
Yeah,
Affleck and
so
Henry Cavill stood right there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who would have known that Illinois would be a giant place for Superman?
I
You got
know.
Metropolis. And also.
Is there even any corn in Kansas? I've drove through Kansas a couple times. I don't remember seeing corn.
I don't know. I've only been through Kansas.
But I'll tell you, there's a whole lot of corn in Indiana.
There's so much corn.
In Illinois, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Superman should have been from Wool.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Well, cool.
All right, yeah. That's basically all I've been up to. I've been writing a Pokemon podcast. I'll plug that real quick.
Nice.
I'll probably be releasing that in the next couple of weeks, but it's just more of like an ASMR deep dive into like the Pokedex and what makes these like creatures come to life. So I'll go more into depth in that in future episodes. But yeah, for now, let's do a Would You Rather. Tim, would you rather when you threw up, your tongue came out, or when you got surprised, your eyes popped out? But either one, you can like put them back in. But like in that moment, they just like fall out.
Or what's the stipulation for the eyes?
You get like surprised, like someone surprises you, your eyes just pop
Like
out.
Beetlejuice.
Like cartoon effects.
Yeah, like they just hang there because they hang from you. Like, they just hang. They don't like pop out.
Oh,
they just like
cartoon. Whoop,
yeah. For a second, they pop like that, but then they fall.
You know-
gravity. So you can grab them, like put them back in, or like your tongue actually falls out.
Conveniently, I would say the tongue falling out, but just because it would be so fun, I think the eyes. I think getting surprised and having your eyes fall out would be such a fun like party trick. like that'd be so. The tongue like would make sense because you don't throw up that.
Well,
much,
plus you
know?
could like lose your tongue though, because that would like just
Yeah.
throw up your tongue and you have to swallow it back.
Yeah.
Or like your
I
eyes
would
would
go
just
like
be-
looking around for it and then throw up.
Yeah.
Where's my tongue?
Wash it off in the sink.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pop
watch
it back in.
But the eyes would be funny. Just
eyes
drop,
would be
your eyes drop out.
That'd be a great party trick. Hey, check
They're
this
just
out.
dangling there.
Yeah.
just surprise me during the night
Yeah.
sometime. Don't even tell me.
Wow.
Don't tell me, that won't work. Like, really get me.
Imagine though you're just driving down the road and like you look in your blind spot and you have that surprise car you didn't expect to, your eyes pop out. You're blind.
You're like trying to like juggle your eyes while driving.
You're just holding one up.
You're like holding the other one behind you. You're like, fuck.
Would you guys rather have had Hayden Christensen or Keanu Reeves voice Shadow?
I would rather have Hayden Christensen, but I am very happy with Keanu.
Yeah, I obviously love Hayden. I don't think he's ever done a voice acting, so I would have honestly rather done Hayden because Keanu Reeves, literally when I think of it, he's done the tumbleweed from the SpongeBob movie. He's done he did the action hero in like Toy Story 4. So he's definitely done some like, big voice acting in most recent years, but like fucking I love Hayden.
I think Hayden
would be so good.
in all of his Anakin Prime.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Give us that whiny Anakin voice as Shadow.
For Shadow, I know.
Keanu's gotten so much
I don't like
love. He's
sand.
always gotten the
Exactly.
love. Hayden needs
Of course.
it now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everyone loves
Man,
Keanu.
the love.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't hate Keanu, but
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden's much
Christensen
more
would've
low
been
key.
great.
And it would
overrated
have
now, yeah.
and we would have gotten more vocal range.
Yeah, we would have.
For sure.
We're gonna
You turned against
I knew it was gonna come out every time you talk about Star Wars.
All the jokes, they could be running through sand to make so
That's the
much
best part in all Star
Wars.
No, Anakin. You did this to yourself.
Yeah, that's the best scene in Star Wars, just in general.
Is every word it's course.
When he goes around the turn and like spins out on gravel or sand, I hate sand.
They can make some good jokes, right?
So many good jokes.
I know.
Yeah, I do like Keanu, but
Hayden would have been better.
Hayden.
Yeah.
I mean, Keanu's got John Wick. He's got everything for him right now. Everyone loves
Hashtag
it.
free Hayden.
Free Hayden.
Free Hayden.
I'm starting it right now.
All right. Kind of going with the Sonic. Would you rather Sonic, Knuckles, or Tails die in the third movie? If one of them had to die.
Oh, Knuckles.
Knuckles, really?
I think that'd be the most emotional death.
Yeah, plus he already has his own show. And plus, Tails is kind of like a child. I feel like Tails
Tails is a girl.
Tails is also a female, but it also is weird that like she's very like it's very childish. If she dies, I'd be like, oh wow, like a child died. Where Knuckles is like it's Idris Elba. It's a man.
I think it would have been the most emotional death. I think there would have been some real sadness.
Knuckles
Yeah.
or Tails.
I think
Knuckles.
Knuckles, yeah, I agree.
Tails would be emotional for sure, but that's
I'd be
emotional.
surprised.
That'd be an emotional.
Oh, do you think Robotnik's gonna die in this one though?
I don't know. They're introducing a second one, so maybe one of them.
His father, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what my one of my theories is that because, like I said, there's no like real pulling from like a lore. It's really just like a video game, I think that maybe one Jim Carrey is going to be Mr. Robotnik, and one of them is going to be Dr. Egghead or Eggman.
Dr. Eggman, yeah.
Which isn't technically canon, but I mean, what is canon? I think we
Well,
said before.
it is the same character, but it is a different like steps in his life. You know? So like, I definitely can see him turning more into this.
And one of them is fat, and one of them's not.
Yeah.
It's true.
So
And you might even find out that it might be not even his dad. It might be him from the future.
Yeah,
and
it
he
could be
just
him from the
calls
future,
him.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good point.
And it's like a
And he just calls him old pa.
yeah.
Old pa.
So
It will be interesting because this movie has always been slated for this date, but Kraven the Hunter has literally moved around 5 times, and on its 5th spot, it chose to come out the same weekend as this movie.
I'm gonna see Sonic over Kraven.
I'll definitely see Sonic over Kraven, but I will see
Probably.
both. But no, Kraven, the Kraven end credit has to pay off with Vulture, right? And
Well,
Morbius,
I-
Morbius and Vulture popping
Pay
up.
off, man.
I've said this before.
Morbius.
I've said this before, but I read something that
It's Morbin time.
They're just making
Yeah.
movies for end credit scenes now.
Yeah,
What's
they
the
are.
point?
They should just make the whole movie an end credit scene.
You just give us the end credit scene and skip all the other stuff. Save me some time.
Just make a 30-minute movie, run the credits, and then the last hour and a half is an end credit movie.
It's so funny that in this podcast, even we've talked about the 3 biggest internet like memes: Sonic, the Snyderverse, and what you just said just now.
Morbius.
Morbius, the Morbius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Morbin time. You don't think Morbius and Craven are coming together in time?
I can't believe
I
that
don't
Morbius
think
came
so.
back to theaters. I cannot believe
I
that.
don't think so.
Morbius and Craven, I'm calling it.
I don't know, man. I think they should just cancel it. I think they should just cut it.
Yeah.
They really
I
should.
think Craven. I'll watch Craven. I think they should keep Craven.
This is the last
But
one.
yeah, just
Well,
after that, just let it leave.
I know, but I've said something in the past, and I'll say it again, that I read something that Sony has rights to these characters, and they actually have rights to more characters, but they have to use the characters.
Okay.
And
That's
that's
why they're really
so
trying to
they're
push them.
really
Pushing them out,
they're really
yeah.
trying to push them out, so Marvel can't take
Can't
them.
use them, yeah.
So like that's
I
one
can
of the
see
reasons that Rhino is in this, and that's one of the issues with
True.
Hulk too. You know,
Well, let's just do a Sinister Six movie already.
That'd be
Let's
great.
just
well, again, there's contracts.
Let's
they
just
can't
do
it.
Let's just do it. Enough.
Yeah.
I'm
Enough's
tired of
enough.
red tape.
Yeah.
I know.
Morbius and Craven, Vulture.
I don't care what's 6.
Who would be
know.
the
There's
three?
gonna be 6 of them, and they're all bad. They're all sinister.
Or Scorpion. It would be
They
Scorpion.
did. They gave us a bad movie.
Scorpion, Morbius, Vulture, Craven,
Venom.
Venom. He's more of an anti here. I guess Venom. I guess Venom. You can throw Venom in there. Who's the last one? Oh, the girls from Madam Web. You get Madam Web.
Nah,
in
get
there.
out of here.
Madam Web. I forgot about Madam
All right.
Web.
On that note, yeah, that's the end of this podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah. Come back next week, and we'll see you guys again.
Yeah. And
All right.
you
Please
guys,
like and subscribe if this is your first time listening.
Yeah. Or if it's not, like and subscribe
Still like
And share.
Already
and share. Bye.
Thank you.